welcome to the session 0 for our new show that just kind of happened really fast. Not sure how we got here, but we decided we're having a new Monster of the Week show, and we are calling it Monster of the Week Act 3. Here, ACT stands for Abnormality Containment Team 3. And that is who these three are before you. I am very, very excited about this. I guess before we go any further, though, what we should say is, of course, this was the time slot that we were doing A.C.T in, which we all love very, very much with our GM Bulb. But for just some personal reasons, we're gonna put A.C.T, unfortunately, on hiatus for now. It's gonna go back on the shelf, but we will be back to finish it as soon as we are all able. But in the meantime, we want to reward our Monday night viewers who have come and loved A.C.T as much as we did. So we're going to do something completely new, and that is this. A Monster of the Week game. Monster of the Week Act 3. Now, Monster of the Week is my favorite game. Those of you who know me know that I never stop talking about Monster of the Week. It's my favorite. It's the reason why this channel exists. It's the reason why this server exists. It all originally began as a gathering place for people to play Monster of the Week with me. Oh, thank you for that host, Mole Thulu. Much appreciated. That is where it all began, and it feels really nice to kind of bring it around full circle now. Our latest creation will finally be the streamed Monster of the Week game that I've always wanted to do. And I could not be happier to be doing it with these fine people. You know them, you love them. They are your brilliant cast members from A.C.T, and from so many other things, because these are all very busy streamers you see before you here. But they will be joining us for Monster of the Week. So, without further ado, let us go around and reintroduce you to the people you should already know and love by now. And let me begin directly below me with one of my dearest friends, Anna, Nymeria941.
So it is I, Anna, at Nymeria941, pretty much everywhere on the internet that you can find me. I'm just really happy to be here. I've gotten to play Monster of the Week, like in long form once, also with Colin, which is where the fearful spreadsheets joke came from, because that was the beginning of just the never-ending spreadsheet that he has of all of my characters' deepest, darkest fears. I'm hoping I can roll a little bit better than that character did, who was so aggressively average and only rolled 7s for the entire campaign. So I was the only person who didn't take any advancements in like 4 sessions of playing the game.
Just I was rolled 7s. Straight 7s.
Middle of the road the entire time. And in this system, if you're unfamiliar, you can only level up based off of your failed rolls, because you mark experience when you fail. And she never failed, but she also never succeeded. So
you always
it was a time.
You succeeded with complication often.
A lot. Yes. Lots of asterisks.
If it makes you feel better.
I'm really excited to be here.
If it makes you feel better, let's not forget that everyone died in that campaign anyway.
We did.
So it's all a wash. You all died at the end.
You know, it really doesn't make me feel better, but it was for a good cause. So
yes,
like,
you saved the world.
We saved the world.
Yeah, or at least the town. You at least saved Sleepy Hollow.
We saved our world, you know.
Yeah.
Like, my character didn't really get out much, so that might as well have been the world.
That was a great game, and I that was one of my favorites that I've ever run. I loved that campaign, and that was a lot of that was yeah, oh my god, it's some guys. Makes you feel better. Everyone died. There's some interesting opinions on feeling better. Well, yeah, all I mean to say is...
That's what I've been told, actually.
all I mean to say is she didn't get to take any advancements, but who cares, because everyone died anyway. So, you know, you don't even need those advancements. But that game was great, and there are some things from that I definitely want to carry through into this new one. Some ideas I think that came out of that I'd like to work with. But we're going to talk about all that. But first, let me go up to my left above Anna to my boy Wally. Hey, dude.
So, Colin, how you doing?
Well, I got my spreadsheet out. So, um,
just one of many things you're carrying over into this
yes,
campaign.
spreadsheets
First
of
among
fear.
them being the spreadsheet of fear.
Deadly spreadsheets. Wally, have you played Monster of the Week before?
I have played Monster of the Week before. I played a lot of Monster of the Week as one shots. I've never actually done a long form campaign yet. So, like, I've every single time it's always been one. Actually, no. I have actually been in a game that was 3 sessions.
Okay.
It was very fun. I enjoyed it. So this will be another jaunt into a more than one shot kind of game, which means that I actually get to really put in some love into the character, you know?
Yeah.
Like I get to put in that non one shot love into it.
I mean, good news for you is that even if I told you this was a one shot, it wouldn't be, because I famously cannot run a Monster of the Week one shot. It never happened. It never will happen. There are always at least 3 sessions, because I just can't. I can't get through. We spoke on. Ours was 4.
Was
5?
originally supposed to be a one shot that lasted for 4 sessions.
Yeah, that sounds like me.
Yeah,
there you go.
A one shot.
Yeah.
We talked with Michael Sands, the creator of the game, on this channel a couple weeks ago on our talk show, the GM Postmortem, and I asked him point blank, like, are your mysteries for Monster of the Week like really designed to be played in one session? And he was like, yeah, you don't do that? I'm like, oh, damn. No, never. He shamed me.
Oh
really,
man.
really lovely guy. I love talking to
Wow.
Michael. But yeah, he said that him and his play group blaze right through them in one session. I've never done that ever.
I mean,
And
it
I
can
won't.
be done. It's
I guess.
Just yeah.
If you
anyway.
really want to rush it. Well, so here's what happens is that with Monster of the Week, it kind of breaks down. We'll talk about this more as we go along. We'll probably say some things for the benefit of the audience about how the game works. But because the monsters in Monster of the Week can't be killed just by fighting them. They always have a weakness that you have to find out. The Monster of the Week tends to break down into like a campaign or a scenario, a mystery, whatever you want to call it, tends to break down into a few easy sections, because there's beat number 1, find out what's happening. Beat number 2, find out what its weakness is. Beat number 3, kill it. So those tend to make like natural cliffhangers that just make really good ending points, and I don't like not taking advantage of a good cliffhanger, because I'm all about cliffhangers.
That's true. Oh, I should do my intros. Sup, y'all? It's your boy Wally. You can find me on Twitter at Wally132, much like the cute little Disney robot WALE132. I go by he and pronouns. I am super excited to play this game because I love these people at this table. So
You're
you know
pretty
it's going to
great
be
yourself.
good chemistry.
Speaking of great people, one of my favorite people to play with in the whole world, and I do mean it, my friend Savvy. Hi, Savvy. How you doing?
Who's that?
Some chick. Oh.
I don't know her. One day I'll just do introductions like a normal person. It's not today.
You don't
Hi.
have to do that.
I'm Savvy. I'm at Savvy Seaworth on the internets. You can find me there on Twitter. When I'm not here, I'm on twitch.tv/game nights. It's game with 2 G's and nights with a K. And coming up starting next week for the foreseeable future, I'm going to be streaming twice on Sundays, because Sunday nights I'll be on twitch.tv/LBHack'em playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
It's going to be really fun. It's a really fun all-lady cast and DM, and it's going to be great.
Are you still on a 7-day-a-week streaming schedule right now?
No, I have Wednesdays off. But I'm playing
Something.
2 games on Sundays.
Savvy, you and I finally got down to only 6 days a week at the same time. I feel like some planet just aligned into place, and it's like
we have a day off.
we
It's
have a
incredible.
day, one day.
I do
We're
this to
sleeping
myself.
and- yeah.
It's 1 day a week I'm sleeping. Yep.
The whole day.
Yeah, I do this because I need a schedule to dictate my life. So I'm really excited to be here because I'm perpetually the queen of never getting to play the games I run.
Right.
I've played Monster of the Week exactly twice.
But you've been GMing it
And
for like 2 years.
I've been GMing it forever. This coming Sunday on Game Nights is the 50th episode of Slang 101.
Good lord.
It was meant to be, it wasn't meant to be a one shot, but it was meant to be like a short series. And we just kind of kept doing it. And now we're still doing it.
I feel like by some standards, a 50-episode TTRPG campaign is still a short series-ish.
Should-
But
to some,
Yeah.
but not not anything I. Oh, what is that? What happened? Something happened. Oh, Doc Rimbo resubscribed. Thank you, darling. I appreciate that.
So much.
So much. I so much appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how long this one will be, but I know that my plan was to take it by arc. So an arc for me is normally like 4 or 5 sessions, something around that. And then just every time you finish one, see what you want to do next. Monster of the Week lends itself to that kind of like episodic gameplay. And I'm also just so happy, Savvy, that I get to GM you through this, because for one, I don't know if have I ever GM'd you, Savvy?
Mm-mm.
No, this is the first time. And it's for a game that I love, and I know that you never get to play. So I feel
Yeah.
real good about that.
Yeah, I live in the Colin boat of this is my favorite game.
Yeah, it is.
This is legit
it's
my
dope as
favorite
hell.
game. I'm so excited to get to play.
Hey, Molthulu, thank you for that subscription. Much appreciated. Y'all, you're great.
Well, also I have a guest.
Kitty.
He's sitting here, so he has to be on stream. Say hi.
Hello. Stream
This is
cat.
Taco.
Taco from TV.
This is Taco. He's gonna be here for a little bit.
That's okay. Little monster. All right. Mine is around here somewhere. I don't know where the hell she went. Okay, so this is our Session 0 for Monster of the Week Act 3. Tonight we're going to discuss the characters we're going to be playing, or at least the nebulous concepts we have for them. We'll kind of flesh it out as we go along. We'll discuss the basis of the scenario, which at the moment is very nebulous in my head, but I know the very basics, and we're going to kind of flesh it out together. And we'll take some notes about the kind of stuff that we want to do. We're going to create some NPCs. We're going to create, well, the organization that your characters work for already exists in the fiction, but we're going to flesh it out a little bit more. And then, for good measure, as I always do, we're going to break out Megan Cross's Session 0 deck, and we're going to answer a few questions about your characters. So that is what is happening tonight. So let me start with just sort of setting the scene of what's happening here. Okay. My point of reference for Monster of the Week stuff is always X-Files, and it always will be. And I'll maybe ask you this as we go around the circle here, but everyone comes at, I feel like, the Monster of the Week genre from a different angle. And for me, because you got your supernatural people, you got your Buffy the Vampire Slayer people. For me, it's always been X-Files, and if I'm being completely honest, Charmed, because I watched the shit out of Charmed back in the late 90s. That's what I always think of with... No, Flounder, I do love Buffy, too. I got into Buffy later, though. When I was young, when I was very young, X-Files was my jam when it came to, that was the first Monster of the Week show that I was hooked on. So I always want to do that kind of thing, which is finally what we're doing here. We're going to have you working for, a shadowy government organization, hunting monsters, and to do it really justice, I really want to go back to something I did in the first Monster of the Week game that I GM'd with people that I met online, which was go back and set it in the 90s. Because I always love that. I love the aesthetic of it. I love the fact that it means that not everybody gets fucking cell phones, so you can't talk to each other all the time. So when you're separated, you're actually separated. Although I think in this scenario it might not make less sense. I think you probably all justifiably could have cell phones in this. Because here's what I want to do. I want to set this in the winter of 1999. You all are headed for Y2K. Because I want to remind the kids how weird it was when Y2K was a thing that we had to actually think about. When I was in my previous lawyer life, I had an intern when I was working at a firm in Wisconsin who I had to explain to what Y2K was. And that was the first time in my life that I felt old. She was in law school, and she was of that age, and I had to explain to her what Y2K was.
You know how
so
crazy Y2K was?
Yeah.
Y2K was so crazy that Bandai made a special movie of Digimon based on Y2K. I am not kidding. There's the Digimon movie starring Millenniummon, and Millenniummon was supposed to represent Y2K.
And it gets what's funny is that what I realize is that when you try to explain Y2K to someone, you realize that you never understood it in the first place. Because she was asking me what I'm like, we were all panicked about computers because something was gonna happen. I don't know why. Like something to do with a digit at the. I don't.
It doesn't matter how you explain it. It sounds like you're making it up.
It does.
It
seem
does.
like you're making
And
does.
it's also
It
not
totally
how
does.
computers work, fun
That too.
fact, which is the wild thing to me, but I'm not going to rant about
Do you remember
that. I'll just...
if you played Metal Gear Solid? That was part of a conspiracy theory in Metal Gear Solid. That it
Yeah.
was the
Right
when they were
inside my
when they were
head.
certifying computers as like Y2K OK. It was like a way for the government to like install spy software on your
Yeah,
computer.
that's how the Patriots got into our computers.
That's how they know everything.
Yeah.
So this is what I have. The three of you are going to be playing Agents of the BOA. So I want to give credit where credit is due. The BOA is an invention of our friend Rex, JTRex2249 on Twitter, who is in chat right now, I believe. I believe Rex is still in there. Rex came up with this for a Monster of the Week game that we played almost a year ago. And he created the concept of the BOA, which stands for the Bureau of Occult Affairs. And I love the idea so much. And Rex really took it and ran with it. He had all this beautiful, like he even wrote out like I gotta find those again, Rex, if you don't mind me using them. He wrote out a big list of all of the different codes for different types of supernatural events. Like a code 000 is like a hellspawn opening up, or like a hellmouth or something like that. He had all this incredibly beautiful stuff. And I thought it was such a great idea. So I've been using some form of the BOA in every Monster of the Week game that I run. It's always the government organization, the official government organization that hunts monsters, that guards against supernatural shit. They usually are kind of the bad guys. They are the convenient allies to most of the monster hunters that have been in my games. Most of the monster hunters in my Monster of the Week games tend to be people who are like unofficial, that are just like, I guess you could say, hobbyists that do this for their own personal reasons, but they're not government sanctioned. And the BOA is the organization that has the same goals as them, but tends to take a harder line on how they deal with these things. So whereas you might want to exterminate the Banshee in the mansion atop the... I know, right? Spoilers. Okay, let's change. There's a zombie outbreak. There's a few undead in a basement of a house in the village. The monster hunters might want to go in and just kill the zombie, whereas the BOA is like, yeah, how about we just carpet bomb the whole town, just to make sure that that's fully contained. So they tend to be a lot more heavy-handed. And I always thought it would be very interesting with all of the BOA stuff that's happened in my campaigns. I always thought it'd be very, very interesting if we took that idea and made a group of heroes, our protagonists, who are themselves BOA agents, who may not know of all the things that the BOA's done, who may not be aware that their employer kind of sucks, may not be aware of the like atrocities that have been committed in their name in the interest of containing a threat. And I think maybe, and of course most people aren't even aware the BOA exists at all, but I'm liking this idea that the BOA... So my previous Monster of the Week campaign was set in 1992, because I wanted to have it in an election year. For some reason that was important to me. It's the year Clinton got elected. And that took place in the town of New Normal, Illinois. Something happened in New Normal that we refer to simply as the New Normal incident. I don't know what it is because we never finished that campaign. But it's been a background data point in my Monster of the Week games. I think this world we're going to be in, with these three new bright-eyed, bushy-tailed BOA agents, is the post-New Normal incident world where the BOA is going through a period of reform, trying to clean up their image a little bit, and have been recruiting newer people, bringing in new blood, trying to maybe slacken some of the requirements in some ways, maybe allow people in who previously wouldn't be allowed in, people with like spooky powers and supernatural things about them themselves. So that's where my head's at. And these three are going to be the newest graduates sort of the BOA Academy, and will be, for the first time, the BOA is moving from a previous model where everyone worked as individual agents in the field. Basically, everyone gets a license to kill, BOA free immunity to all law, basically, and you work as solitary entities out there doing what you want. My inspiration here is like the specters from Mass Effect, where you just complete free reign, do whatever you got to do, total immunity. And instead, now we're going to start trying to foster a spirit of teamwork in the BOA. There's going to be, like, the BOA is going through this period where there probably going to be, like, a lot of sensitivity seminars and stuff. They're trying to clean these things up, and they're going to start finally assigning agents in teams. And they are known as Abnormality Containment Teams, or ACTs. And you guys are the third graduating class of into a new Abnormality Containment Team. So you are Act 3. So that's the scene. That's what I'm thinking here. What I'd like to do as we go around, first we're going to talk about characters, but then we're going to try to sort of build on some more BOA stuff and, what's going on, even where we are. We can all get to that. So let me start to my left with Wally. What are you thinking for your bright-eyed, bushy-tailed BOA agent? BOA boy, if you will.
So, I took a lot of inspiration from the movie The Sorcerer's Apprentice from Disney.
Nice.
So I'm playing the spell slinger. That's the playbook I'm going with. It's this magic up in your face. So my character is Marcus Drum. Marcus was just a normal kid, and he had a normal life. He had mom, dad. He went through high school and everything. In his senior year of high school, he met a specific individual who said, "You have the capabilities for magic, right?" So he went on a very interesting adventure where this guy led him into the world of magic, believing he was to replace him as a sorcerer. And he did. He went through the whole adventure. He helped his former master put away the evil that's been troubling him. He helped his former master be reunited with his one true love. And even my character Marcus, got the girl.
Attaboy.
But in that line of work, things don't normally go that way. It actually went down kind of in a spiral after that, where because of his very dangerous life that he has to be on guard all the time, protecting this reality with magic, he had to sacrifice a lot of his relationships. He kind of kept people at bay. He lost the girl. He then became a bit of a, how could one put it? He listened to a lot of goth music.
He went through a belated goth phase?
Oh, he went through a hardcore belated goth phase. But also the fact is that he became a goth because it reflected the space that he was in, but also he hasn't given up on that because he was a very normal, sweet guy. He never got rid of that side. But everything else, though, he kind of like keeps it down because he's realizes this is his life now, and he can't really have a normal life anymore.
Damn. So, has he been with the BOA? Just so I'm getting his timeline right. Yeah, so all that stuff just happened. Like he's just fresh off of a relationship and.
Yeah, I would say, this time now it is about 8 months out after it all happened.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been approaching a year after everything happened.
So was this like he entered BOA, like he entered like the BOA Academy or something, and that's when things started going downhill in his personal life?
It was because after everything happened, I'm just gonna say he was approached by the BOA. They said, "All right, we know who your master was. You're taking over for him, so now you're gonna have to work for us," as a suggestion kind of thing. And he took it as because, hey, this seemed like the right path for him. He took it, but he really had to sacrifice so much of what his normal life was, what it was before all this. He couldn't hang out with those people again. But the one thing that really hit him the hardest, though, was that he couldn't hang around. He couldn't spend time with his family as much as he used to, because now it's yeah, I now deal with this really dangerous stuff, and
Oh, you don't. I mean,
yeah,
I look at it as I think the way I've always thought of it is when you enter the BOA, it's like day number one. It's congratulations, you officially don't exist anymore.
yeah, pretty
Like
much that was it.
you're scrubbed from the records. Yeah, you're a ghost.
Yeah,
Um,
and like even though he was a ghost, he's tried his best to salvage his friendships, but it didn't last. So he
mm,
just became like this recluse goth of a person. Um, but he's like I said, he's still the same person. It's just he puts up this like I guess this is I am who I am now kind of aura he has about himself.
Remind me again, how do you do magic? From whence
So
did you
I
learn?
chose for this. I chose for the for I chose for my moves when it says for I choose 4 spellslinger moves and I have choose one I don't choose. So I went with foci, gestures, and incantations.
Mm,
So he does a lot of. It's very much when he does magic. It's very like Doctor Strange, like where you see him. He's legit pulling magic from someplace else, like
yeah.
some extra dimensional force, energy force, and converts it into whatever he needs to do with this spell. Like it's kind of pretty much like a magical version of alchemy, you would say, like how Full Metal Alchemist speaks with alchemy is that
Mm,
everything is taken from somewhere. Nothing is just created, and that is a pretty much a big core of his magic.
okay. And how did he gain the ability to do magic? That's what
So he gained the ability to do magic when he met his mentor, who was pretty much like the designated sorcerer of this plane. And he was
Mm-hmm.
just someone that's like, look, I am getting really old for this, and you have that natural gift. Like, it wasn't that he just was blessed with the gift of magic. It was that just certain people just have that their chakras are lined up. Everything about them is perfect that they can do magic. And he is
Mm,
one of those 1 in a million type of people. And especially because he does magic without, consumables or anything. He just does it. So
mm.
that is even more unique. And that's why he was picked to become his successor.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so you're in your kind of lineage of magic. There's not a lot of people out there who can do what you do.
Yeah,
You're
it's not
quite
many people can.
quite unique.
Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting. All right. We're going to come back to Marcus and establish some relationships and whatnot. But first, let me go down to Anna. What are you thinking? Yes. Yes,
What
you
am
are.
I thinking? What am I thinking? Okay, so this is gonna be interesting. I'm gonna just have to remember what it is that I said about this character because I'm also taking notes. Hi. So I am thinking of playing a character. Her name is going to be Louisa Mallory. She
Louisa.
is the monstrous playbook. She also goes by Lou. She's
Sweet
not
Lou.
picky. Yay. So I'm going with the monstrous playbook, and I've always wanted to do the monstrous playbook as a banshee. And then I was thinking to myself, the way the banshees get created is kind of sad and tragic, and I really want to play more of an upbeat character. So she's still going to be very upbeat, except I've decided that the kind of origin story for her becoming a banshee is going to be a little bit different to reflect that.
Mm.
But when you said, like the official congratulations, you don't exist when you join the BOA, is the whole reason why she's there because she already didn't.
So that was
She
convenient for
was
the BOA.
already in her right, like had already like had the event happen that kind of transforms her into this ghost wraith like form.
Mm.
And they were just like, oh, perfect. We essentially have someone who is a total cipher, and they will be good for this organization.
Perfect. Okay.
Uh,
So yeah, you've So we'll have to flesh that out a lot more too. But yeah, you were
oh, I
someone.
have ideas. I just wanted to stop and give you a chance to say something.
Yeah. No, that. So you're someone who, I think there's a little bit of like I said, the BOA is sort of trying to reform its image, and I think like your character sounds like just the kind of person that they would kind of draw in of like. So for like
Mhm.
people who are not familiar with Monster of the Week, like the monstrous is the monstrous, all of the playbooks or classes, whatever you want to call them, they're playbooks in Monster of the Week, but all of them fill sort of trope niches in Monster of the Week type shows, and monstrous the monstrous fills this niche of the monster hunter who is a monster themselves. So this is like your angel from Buffy. Um, I don't know, could you call like Castiel sort of a?
It's all coming back to Buffy today, isn't it? Like every stream bouncing back and forth, back and forth. Me and
No,
Molly
it's always
this morning,
Buffy.
Now it's Buffy. Yeah.
Literally, I can track like every single playbook in this game to a Buffy character very easily. But yeah, that's also a bit of like Spike, also from Buffy. The one that always comes to mind for me is Angel. But yeah, so this is the monster hunter who is also a monster, and I think the idea of like the BOA, a lot like you'd be one of the first if every BOA agent actually had a playbook, you'd probably be the first ever monstrous to be a BOA agent. They
Boy.
would not previously let, air quotes, monsters serve in the BOA.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There is, on a certain level, it does make some sense.
Also, like Flounder says, the best is the diversity hire.
It's the diversity hire.
Yeah.
Oops, that's super loud. Sorry. Yeah. So, and I think Marcus too is a similar story, that they're letting someone in who's a spell slinger is a new thing for the BOA. So I'm curious now where that goes with Savvy. Maybe you all have this in common. Savvy, what are you thinking?
So for okay.
Cat?
I'm sorry, we made an agreement that he wasn't going to chew on the headphone cord, but he's doing it now, so he's got to go. Sorry. So I am going to be playing the Spooky playbook, which is also pretty magical, but in a different way. They have brain powers, mostly. It's like telepathy, premonitions, and sort of hexes and jinxes and things like that. So my character's name is Naomi Caldwell.
Ooh. I don't know why I love that name so much, but that's really good.
It spoke to me.
And it calls to me as well.
It just really spoke to me. So Naomi, in sort of following with the theme here, has a few connections or people that she's sort of tied to. Naomi lost her family very young in some sort of incident that she doesn't have a lot of details on, and is now seeking them out because later on she discovered that it was sort of related to the supernatural in some way. I don't know how yet. I'm gonna think about that part. But so she was the only surviving member of her family. She spent her like childhood and teenage years sort of in and out of the foster system. Led a pretty quiet life, no real except for the one main sort of trauma. Had a relatively quiet life. Yeah, no real problems until she was a teen and hit her goth witchcraft phase,
Yes, another one.
which she never left because she discovered she could actually do magic.
That would be enough to keep you in, yeah, I'd say.
So she discovered that and then started sort of looking for what had happened to her family and found just enough to sort of hook her, and then made her way from there.
So
and now she's here.
This is slowly turning into The Craft, kind of, a bit. There's some of that going on.
Well, you asked what some of our main inspirations were.
Was it The Craft?
That's one of them.
What is your primary Savvy, your primary Monster of the Week point of reference?
I have several for different reasons. My touchstone is supernatural, just because it's the one that I sort of got hooked on and know the most about and watched the most. Buffy is a close second. I also pull a lot of my stuff from The Craft and then the Witcher short stories, stuff like that. So
Last Wish is so good.
Oh my gosh, right?
I love that book. So good.
Yes, that's I come from sort of a couple of different corners and then pull them all together, and then occasionally Fringe
A touch
for
of
fun.
Fringe.
For fun.
Anna, what's yours? What's your like sort of touchstone?
I think honestly, a lot of my original sort of monster story ideas come from stories that my family told. So like the monster of the week stuff is like, what are we gonna tell to scare our kids tonight? That's it. Also watching a lot of the old Doctor Who, and I've for this particular character gotten a lot of inspiration from the Lumberjanes comics actually, because there's some interesting summer camp shenanigan stuff that's tied into her origin story of how she became a banshee. So yeah,
Right.
a lot of different things.
Wally, what do you say for you? What's your big inspirations?
For me, it's always been stuff like Men in Black, X-Files. There was this one cartoon I watched a lot as a kid called Bureau of Alien Detectors, and it was basically animated X-Files. That's legit what it was, and it was on Fox for a bit, and I loved it.
So
Then I watched the
their
Men in Black
acronym
cartoon.
was BAD.
Yeah, I'm not. That's really what it was. It was bad, and it was
Bad
called Bureau of Alien
motherfucker.
Detectives. It was so great. It was based on a comic book too. But I really liked it. It was definitely one of my favorite
That's
shows
cool.
to watch. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so you just gave me an idea. Well, not an idea. It's one I already had, but hearing you say it now, I'm excited to do it. I wanted to do something like this. Let's kind of build this together. But so you guys are fresh BOA agents. You are fresh out of the academy. You're assigned to your first team. Let's talk setting. Wally mentioned Men in Black, and one thing I thought would be interesting, and I want to get your thoughts on this, is the kind of Men in Black. One of my favorite parts of the setup in Men in Black is that like the Men in Black, like the agency is like everywhere and all around you, and they're in plain sight. So like the entrance to like the Men in Black headquarters is in Queens, like in the middle of the most populated city in the United States. There's just like a secret door that that brings you in to where it is. So I was excited about the idea of maybe doing this in like a big urban center, where the the beneath the city there's a whole nother city. The BOA headquarters is like the city beneath the city that's there kind of hiding in plain sight. What do y'all think about that?
That I like that. I get
That'd be
this.
so cool.
I have now this whole image that the BOA headquarters is a building in this underground city, and this underground city is where everyone else who is not human live. Like it's legit a second New York City. It looks like a second New York City when you get down there. And this is where all the cryptids live. This is where the supernatural beings live. This is where they all live, legit right underneath New York
Oh,
City.
see, I hadn't even thought of that, but that's because now I'm picturing it almost like the BOA headquarters is like, maybe this is part of this whole. This is a newer, nicer BOA where instead of just murdering monsters, now it's more like the aliens and Men in Black, like all in the cafeteria having coffee together. I do kind of love the idea that you guys enter into this, kind of like underground city, and there's just like, there's all kinds of crazy cryptid shit that just is running around, and that's just part of life at the BOA. Like that's really good. I don't know, Anna. Like, add something to it. Throw a truth on that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think what I want to throw in on that, and this is maybe a little bit more like, yeah, no, I guess this is setting related. I was going to say, I like the idea that, like, as part of this radical new program, to be like, we're going to completely overhaul and reform things. There's this new underground city. I think it's really new. I think there is still some annoying old, like, holdout, old guard people that are just like, no, we're doing our business in real buildings above the ground, just like the old days. So there's like a somewhat stratified version of this going on where it's like, well, we can't like completely abandon all of the old stuff that we like. I think the transition is not as smooth as everybody wants it to be. Like for some people it's new and exciting, and then there are the old fuddy-duddies that are just like, meh, no monsters.
Ooh.
Oh, go ahead.
Ooh, so because there are still people who are still hating the transition of this, like there are still the old guard of the monsters that are down there. that's why the BOA is down there too, because it's like, look, there are monsters down there who are not going to agree with all of this at all, and there are humans also who are not going to
Oh.
agree with all of this at all. So the BOA set all of this up as a, look, someone has to keep this peace and keep them in check, where we don't have to like just carpet bomb everything.
This is like the outreach observation branch of it, but it's really the we're here to spy on you branch of it. Yeah, so it's a little bit. Okay.
What do you think, Sav? What can we tack on that?
Now I'm just thinking about these different factions that are cropping up
Yeah, I like that.
that I love very much. I always, in these situations, I always like this idea of just this one like little group that's like, no, everyone should know about this, and keeping this a secret is really problematic. And the always like the tamping down of that always kind of happens that people end up fighting about. I like to include stuff like that. I think it's fun.
Do you have an idea for like what would be a good? I'm thinking a city, but I'm open to suggestion of like where to set that. Where is our hidden city? What do you think?
Thinking of places where it's feasible to have things underground.
It would have to be like a major city.
Yeah, I think that works.
Like it has to be a city. It has to be a major metropolis. I would say New York City, but New York City is an island. That's the only problem.
I mean, I'm not too worried about the logistics.
Yeah,
It'd
that's
be
also
magic New York. I mean, I'm
That's
a
true, Magic
ghost.
New
Yeah,
York
you
is
can
New York.
you can make
I
fire
can
appear.
walk through walls, and we're
Yeah.
worried about islands.
Yeah, Wally can make fire
That's
appear
true.
from his hands. Like, I'm not
That's
too
true. I can
worried
make
about
fire from my hands.
Yeah.
So Pope's interestingly, Pope said Denver, and that
Yes.
actually was what went into my head right away when we started talking about this was Denver. I'm just
Oh, I really like Denver.
I like that. Yeah.
oh,
I
that's
like that.
interesting.
Denver
but
doesn't get enough attention.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
It's
I mean, yeah,
beautiful
we get it.
city.
It's landlocked, but
Great scenery, and I can totally see secret BOA bases like in the side of the Rockies, like going under mountains and shit. It
yeah.
also lets me have a villain with a nice mountaintop chalet, which is always good. The old Bond villain chalet.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, Denver. I like Denver. I'm cool with that. All right, we're getting off the. New York City's got plenty of film appearances
Got
and
enough
shit.
stuff. They
Yeah,
got
got
enough
enough
stuff.
going
They're
on.
fine.
They've
You're
got literally all of Marvel. They're fine.
Yeah, they really have the entire Marvel universe. Yeah.
They're fine
It's
over
just
there.
a little too crowded for what we want to do. Like,
So we're set in Denver. So this is where beneath the city of Denver is the BOA, the subterranean city. That is now. And I like Anna's idea that it's new. Like this is the new. Maybe the old. How about this compromise? Maybe the old BOA headquarters was in New York City. It's been moved.
Ooh.
This is all new. There might even be some people in New York who, like you said, are like those old guard holdouts that don't want to change things.
Mhm.
But now the BOA's built this, subterranean network beneath the city of Denver that is a place that is not just like an operational base for the BOA, but is also a place for containing monsters in like a humane way and not just like murdering them. It's a bit of a, I guess it's sort of like a monster jail, but more friendly than that.
Maybe that's why they started it out here, because they wanted to separate themselves from the New York City branch, because
Yeah.
everyone's like,
Yeah.
New York City branch, oh no, they're the ones that kill people.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Yeah, that's not us. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. All right. So,
this is perfect. I
So
love
we have
this.
some factions coming up here, which is interesting. I think you guys you're fresh out of the like BOA Academy, and I think you're going to be assigned together. The BOA is now starting this new initiative of working in teams, and they are 3-person teams. But you have to have a handler. I think you got to have a point of contact. There is like a higher up on the BOA. So let's like make that person. Wally, give me one thing about the person that is your handler. It can be a name, it can be anything, whatever you find interesting.
They're a skeleton.
They are a skeleton. That is interesting.
They are 100% a skeleton.
Yes. Yes, they are. I agree. 100%.
Must
Yes.
resist the urge to name the character Scully. Must resist the urge.
Oh,
Must
Agent
resist.
Scully.
Generating names.
It would just be so great.
One like a super cool name.
Agent Patella.
I absolutely fucking love X-Files, but did you ever notice that if anyone watched a lot of X-Files, Mulder and Scully use each other's names more than any other characters in television history. They start every sentence with, "Well, Mulder. Well, Scully.
They
Listen,
do.
Mulder. Hey, Scully." It's constant. No one talks like that. Anyway, I'm sorry.
It reminds me of how when people are on TV and they're on the phone and they're like, "Yeah, bro. Of course, sis."
Yeah. It's like, what's that? Yes, bro. What do you mean? Why am I saying bro out loud? Everyone
Yes.
knows that I have
This
a
is how
brother.
people
Everyone
talk.
knows you're my brother.
Yeah.
This is how people talk. Brother of mine, younger brother of mine,
Younger
Like,
who's
brother.
exactly 3 years younger than me.
Exposition.
Can I posit a name
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
that the generator has given me?
Oh, please.
Phoenix
Phoenix.
Ramirez.
Oh
Phoenix
my
Yeah,
Ramirez.
what a cool name.
Yes.
Such a cool name for a
That's
skeleton.
a cool name.
And he has
Cool
a
name
little
for anything.
and he has
Now
a
I wish
little
that was my
pencil mustache drawn on his skull.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me
Like John
of-
Waters.
Yeah,
Skeleton
Like
John Waters, also
yeah,
known
it's
as just
John Wa-
John Waters.
pretty much, yeah.
Phoenix. I'm gonna do like I kind of like the idea that's like a stupid spelling, like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Phoenix Ramirez, the skeleton handler. Yes. Anna, what? Let me ask you maybe a more targeted question on Phoenix Ramirez. Well, first of all, do you think you all knew Phoenix Ramirez going through training, or is this someone you've just met and been assigned to?
I think I knew Phoenix Ramirez already, and I'll tell you why. Because if I am the first BOA agent who's ever been recruited as a monstrous, Phoenix Ramirez is actually the first monstrous BOA agent, but got turned into a monstrous at some point after, had already been working for the agency, and they would just be like, "We can't lose one of our best agents, even if he is a damn skeleton.
Even
Get
if
him back
he's
in the
dead."
field." Yeah, death is only a setback. Are you kidding me? So I think voiced by Jeffrey Rush. Oh my
Oh, I
God.
love
Oh
that.
my gosh, yes.
I would die.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yes. I need more Jeffrey. Look, all right, let me tell you something about Jeffrey Rush, all right? I really love Jeffrey Rush. You know how much I love Jeffrey Rush? I love him so much, okay? Because he's Davy Jones.
Because why?
Because what?
Because
Why'd you get
I
quiet
just love
then?
him as a pirate. He's so great
Oh.
as a pirate. I love him.
You best
so
start believing
much.
in ghost stories,
I
Wally.
love Davy. Like, you don't understand how
You're
much I
in
love
one.
Davy Jones. All right, so we had interns one year, and they were like a bunch of high school interns, and my boss is introducing me to them, and he had them all lined up outside of our office, and he said, "Wally, I want you to meet the interns you're gonna be taking care of this year." I'm like, "Okay." I walked out to each one of these interns, walked to each one of them. I looked at one of them and says, "Tell me, do you fear death?" And the intern was like, and then one of them at the other end like this, like, "I don't." I went, "Pfft." And I walked over to him. I got real up in his face. I'm like, "You will." And
Wally,
I just walked off.
I love you, man, but you created a hostile work environment there. That's kind of not cool.
Oh no, yeah, I know. I love messing with those interns. They're my favorites. I love those interns so much.
Okay, so let's say Jeffrey Rush is the voice of
Totally.
Big fan.
of Phoenix
Big fan.
Ramirez.
Oh, I finally remembered the reference I was trying to make 5 minutes ago. No, when you said a skeleton with a pencil mustache drawn on, did anybody? If I mention the game Grim Fandango, does
Yep.
anyone know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Oh,
That's
I know
exactly-
what you
Odd Man
mean.
I
Out
know
here.
exactly what
That's
you're thinking
exactly what I thought of. It's an old adventure. This is like late 90s adventure game, and the aesthetic of it is just. I'm just gonna.
I think
send
you told me about this
pictures
a
of
You
long
it.
gotta
time
send
in the
it, and
Discord.
You gotta play it. It's so good.
great.
It's
I
incredible.
freaking love it.
It's like
Yeah.
every Humphrey Bogart movie but
Yeah.
with skeletons.
Skeletal Noir.
It was actually Justin, Doc Rimbo told me about this game a while ago, and I had
That's
never heard of
exactly
it.
what I thought of.
Great game.
That's
Anyway, if you haven't played that game, it rules. And also, that's the image that popped into my head
yes, I love
Alright.
that.
for Phoenix Ramirez.
So yeah, Phoenix Ramirez is a long-serving BO agent who, is dead. Has at some point died in the field of in the field in action. I've been saying for a while that in this universe, after 1992, after the New Normal incident in 1992, everything got weird. That was when the Hellmouth kind of opened, and all of the real horrors started pouring into the world, and that's when strange things started happening. And I think probably among that being, that this guy came back from the dead essentially and is still doing his job as an agent. So I like that.
I just picture it as he just showed up to work that day.
I didn't even notice he died.
Yeah,
What's
he just
the matter,
showed up
Ramirez?
to work that day.
You wake up dead? Skeleton bones crunch. He just turns to look.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Run that by me again.
I love Ramirez.
Me too.
So yeah, so Ramirez is an old hand. Okay. Who is, I think that's cool though. That's interesting. He's straddling the line between the old guard and the new guard, sort of, because he actually is someone who's been there a long time, but is also a fucking monster as well. So is maybe trying to be the bridge that brings these factions back together. He sort of is that incarnate.
It was also very much of a thing that, because he's now walking in their shoes, he understands.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it gave him some empathy. So he maybe Phoenix is one of the people who was really. I think Phoenix was one of the people who was really leading this reform effort.
I was just about to say that, like, he spearheaded. He was a major, like, maybe he didn't create it, but he was definitely as part of like that core group that formed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that. Yeah. And I'm kind of digging on this idea that the reforms within the BOA are, well, one, very recent, and they're sort of like, it's almost like a pilot program. Like, we're testing to see if this works. So you all have been given a chance as, people who normally would not be admitted to the BOA. You sort of have to be the exemplars to show that, like, this concept works, that the BOA can recruit from the spooky ranks of society, and that it will still function. So Phoenix, I think this is sort of like Phoenix Ramirez's brainchild, and he kind of has a lot riding on you guys for your success. And also somewhere out there is Act 1 and Act 2, who also are, out there trying to represent the new face of the BOA as well, who, that may be something you also have to worry about, like, because it's only these few teams. I don't know exactly yet how many teams there are, but there's at least 3, and you all have to, maintain the image of the BOA as part of it. So obviously with that comes, there are those who don't want to see this succeed, and let us discuss them now. Let me go over to Savvy. Savvy, like, who do you think would be the kind of person standing against this? Who represents maybe the lead faction of the old guard BOA?
Oh man. I mean, probably somebody who should have retired about 15 years ago. Is where I'm gonna start.
Old dude. Old person. Well, it doesn't have to be a dude. Old person of some kind.
Yeah, no, I think it's got to be somebody who's been doing this for a long time. And I think is very sort of resistant to, and probably has been over time, just in general, very resistant to change and like updating and things like that. And so it is just like, there's probably some like bitterness there over like, I've been standing against this for so long, and now there's probably that added bonus of like, I am getting older. I can't necessarily do this job like I used to when I was younger. Probably some bitterness, some like you can't force me out kind of thing.
Mm-mm. Oh, I like that. Yeah, reminds me of like a Family Guy joke. It's like Peter riding an elephant. He's like, "Look, it's the two symbols of the Republican Party: an elephant and an old white man who's afraid of change."
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Wally. What do you got?
I totally feel like they are like, so I, because of the way Savvy would describe them, I just picture them like a descendant of like some fictional famous like hunter.
Yeah, someone
know-
with tradition in their veins.
Yeah.
Yes, I like
Like
that.
I was gonna go the easy route and say Van Helsing, but
I
that's
thought
like,
Van Helsing too. Yeah.
but
Petition.
actually, ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Petition to make him a descendant of Jakai.
Of Chikai.
I'm serious.
Sure.
It's so far back, like mythical monster hunters of ancient Greece. Why not?
I mean, why
oh
not?
my God, he has the sword of Jakai.
The sword of Jakai?
The sword
mean-
of Jakai. That would be exclamation point sword in chat, by the way. A descendant of Jakai. I wonder if he knows. Interesting. Wow. I was not expecting a Jakai reference in this, but all right, sure.
Did it?
I'll dig it. So descended from a long line of monster hunters, this person. Very embedded in tradition and resistant to change. Been with the BOA a very long time. What are they famous for? I feel like this is someone that probably has a glorious past. They did or participated in something that gonna put their name on the map enough that they still have pull within the BOA that they can sort of lead this resistance effort against all the reform. What do you think, Anna? What do you think that they? What do you think that this person did? What did they accomplish?
I think that since they're quite old compared to the rest of us, even to Phoenix Ramirez, the skeleton handler,
Phoenix Ramirez skeleton. Just made me think like Harvey Birdman, attorney at law.
That's my favorite of the Ace Attorney games.
Oh god!
Yeah, I was thinking Phoenix Wright. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until you've played Aviary Attorney, and then you've seen everything, which you should, because it's great. I think that this person did a sort of like reorg in their own right back in the day. I think that there was a time where the sort of monster hunting stuff began seeming to be very disreputable and only practiced by these like wild conspiracy theorists that are just like, oh yeah, Area 51 aliens and stuff, and like it kind of lost its repute. And this person, they made people take monster hunting seriously again. They got rid of a lot of the corruption within the people that had kind of just said, oh, we're gonna rest on our laurels from our glory days. And they were just like, no, let's make this an active and respectable profession once again. None of the, I think this person is very much like, well, we're not like those conspiracy theorist people, because the threats that we deal with are real, and I'm gonna make you believe that they're real and take this seriously. So,
They made monster hunting respectable.
yeah.
I feel like, what if this is the kind of person that made it into really into a profession, I guess, basically.
Yeah, like maybe now you have to, you have to undergo some sort of formal education in order to do it. You have to be licensed. You can't just be
some Yahoo.
Yeah, I feel like they were definitely one of the first people who made it into an actual program that you had to go through.
Like the monster bar exam or something. I don't know.
Also known as just the bar exam.
The bar exam. No, or the GRE. That's the other way to get in. Just take the GRE and you're good.
Why would you remind me that exists?
I'm sorry.
Bar exam is the worst. How about we go a step further and just say that this person was sort of... Oh, and I know the perfect kind of role model for this, because this person is likewise a bastard. But basically the the J. Edgar Hoover of the BOA.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, this is exactly what I was thinking without saying the name J. Edgar Hoover. But
it's the J. Edgar Hoover, who took an organization that there was already something like with J. Edgar Hoover, like the FBI. There was, I can't remember what it was called, but there wasn't called the FBI, but there was
the OSS got some of the OSS got put into the FBI. Some of it got dumped into the CIA, but
Yeah.
There was also a lot
else.
of Pinkertons, like the Pinkerton detectives
Mm-hmm.
were still around getting absorbed into the FBI. Like
strikebreakers. Yeah.
Wild. Yeah.
Infamous strikebreakers. But yeah, but Hoover, like reorganized the FBI, made it into what it is really today, like made it the entity it is today. And I think that the BOA's case, there was something like this before. There was a bureau, there was an office that maybe regulated, not about regulated, knew that there was people out there that hunt monsters and kept an eye on them.
Yeah.
It investigated the occult stuff and the weird, spooky stuff, but it really wasn't an effective organization. And this person came along and made it into a professional monster hunting force. This is what we do.
Ooh. So, okay. So, you know how, like, in the 70s, you had all of those cartoons like Scooby-Doo and everything. Like, that was the big thing. What if that's how it was back then? Like, everyone had a monster hunting team where it was a bunch of kids going around the nation hunting monsters. But this guy, they were like, you know what? These shouldn't be a bunch of random kids doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Right.
We got to put a lockdown on them. So he was the one who created that whole, like, turned them, like, stopped all of these vigilante monster hunters, like mystery solvers and everything, and turned it into an actual organization.
That's what I'm thinking.
And there were other people who still solved monsters, but they were like, because they viewed the BOA as the enemies, because they're like trying to do what's right, while the BOA is like, no, this is our job.
I think this is the person. I think you're absolutely right, and I think this is the person that came along and basically said that from here on out, we have a monopoly on hunting monsters. This is the BOA's exclusive province now, and all of you vigilantes and all you out there, you got to hang it up. Either come work for us, or get the fuck out of the way, basically.
Yeah.
Because this is what we do now. And I really like that idea, because there are other organizations out there that do this, that combat the BOA, but they all have rival jurisdiction and they overlap. The one that Tom is in chat here, Tom's character works for an organization simply called the Association, that also hunts monsters, but they're based out of the United Kingdom, whereas the BOA is based out of the United States. But they do sometimes overlap with each other, and they butt heads and they get in the way of each other. And there's lots out there like this. It's not the only one.
I was gonna say, if Shell was still alive, she'd be so anti this regulation. She'd just be like, no, nobody can tell me where I need to put my license.
Technically, Shell is alive, because that took
Shell
place.
is alive.
That took place after this happened, so she's.
Shell is all alone in the desert of northern Arizona right now.
Alas. So yeah, I like that. I like that idea. Yeah, it's the BOA. This is the person who came along and said the BOA is now the one legitimate monster hunting force and supernatural investigation force in this country. If you are anyone else, you're an outlaw, you're a criminal. If you're not with us, you're the enemy, basically. And Savvy, this person's name is. You were really good with Phoenix Ramirez, so
is Maddox Buckley.
Oh,
I really like that.
I love that their name is Maddox, because I just picture them as the most 1970s like TV detective ever.
Yeah, Maddox hit me in the gut when it came up.
Like nothing but like chest hair sticking out, lapels, with a really tacky looking suit.
Yo, oh my god, it's some guy in chat has a great Maddox Buckley, nicknamed Mad Buck.
Mad Buck.
Yes. Oh my
Mad
god.
Buck.
Ooh. What if he's like just like this amalgamation of every 1970s hard-boiled detective cop movie?
Yes.
loose cannon cop on the edge who doesn't play by the rules.
Exactly.
God.
But
Refuses to
his-
believe cigarettes are bad for you. That's a government conspiracy.
Yeah.
I'll have lived this long.
and because he created this organization, they're like, look, you get to do whatever you want because you get the job done. You did all of this, so hey, we understand you are going by your own book, but
Who was I was just talking to my dad yesterday about when he worked at a bank in the mid 80s. There was one guy that worked at the bank that was the only person that was allowed to smoke in the office because it was just like, what are you gonna do about it, basically? Like, everyone was afraid of this dude. He was like some former Marine that was like a banker, and everyone was scared of him, so no one I feel like, there's a strict no smoking policy at the BOA, except for Mad Buck. He's having his afternoon cigars regardless. He doesn't care what shit you have to say.
Oh, and he's definitely played by James Garner.
Oh, okay, so I was loving this, interestingly, when we were talking about it being formed, the J. Edgar Hoover thing. I had this image in my head forming of, do you guys know William F. Buckley? Have you ever seen this guy, William F. Buckley? He's been dead for like 20 years now, but he was the founder of the National Review. He's this old conservative commentator who hosted Firing Line for like ever, and he was an asshole, but he had this famous voice that you just have to hear it to believe it. This really weird, it sounds like English with a southern drawl. It's impossible to describe.
I recognize him. I just Googled him.
Yeah. Look up his voice more than anything. It's no one talks like William F. Buckley, and that's when you said Maddox Buckley. I just heard William F. Buckley's voice pop into my head of this kind of. I have to practice the William F. Buckley impression, I guess, but it is this. He had this like sort of strange way, like he would like draw out syllables, and had a remarkable command of the English language.
I can hear that, and it's
he was always looking down his nose at you, like he thought he was better than fucking everybody.
Yeah, and he definitely views himself much better than all of these. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
He's definitely viewing us, our group, as like, oh, you guys are those radical lefts.
Oh yeah, totally. That's why I went with an old conservative. Yeah, you guys are the
and
fringe.
We're all goths.
And
so
you're all
it's
goths.
Even worse.
These fucking kids coming in here. And I'm gonna say he hates the nickname Mad Buck. You don't.
Okay.
That's like you don't say that to
yeah.
his face.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's one of those guys. I like the dichotomy of like, Buckley is this calm, cool, collected dude. If you're in his presence, he's very well spoken. He's articulate. He always seems to be in control. But he has things to his reputation, like horrible things that he has done, and that would strike fear in the heart of like anyone who identified as a monster. Because this is the guy that came in and we are a professional fighting force, and also yes, we will carpet bomb a town if it means containing a zombie threat or something like that. He started all of that. So this guy is a maniac in a lot of ways, and but at the same time hates to be called Mad Buck. Don't you dare ever call him Mad Buck to his face.
I feel like this is the kind of guy that has broken like several landline cradle phones by just throwing them at the wall and and they're just like, even if nobody who's currently working there can really remember any of the bad stuff that he did or wasn't actually there when it happened, some people have a story about the one time he threw that phone at the wall and they were just picking up like springs and plastic shards, and
he's broken a lot of phones.
Forever. He's broken a lot of phones.
Flounder asks a great question. Is Mad Buck the current director of the BOA, or was he recently demoted by the powers that be during the restructure?
Ooh, he was.
I like
director.
that too. Yes.
He was the director, but after this happened, he got demoted because because they pretty much took the BOA and what the BOA was doing, all of it got departmentalized. So because of that, he lost everything. That's why he's extra salty about it.
He is director emeritus.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
A title he fucking hates.
Everyone with emeritus in their title hates having emeritus in their title. It's just
Yeah.
I feel
so
like if
bad.
you refer to him as that, like when he's in the room, you do get something thrown at your head.
Just
Yes.
call him
Marcus-
Director Emeritus Mad Buck and watch him spontaneously combust.
we
Marcus
don't
has
have the budget for
definitely
any
called him
more
that.
phones.
Marcus has definitely called him that to his face once. He called him Director Emeritus, but he said it in the most sarcastic way, in a like, oh, and what are you going to do now about it kind of way.
Oh.
Does this mean that
You
you
gonna
have
do? Fire me?
insubordination in your file now?
Oh no, I totally, because of this, I just totally 100% seen just Marcus being like the most punk rock goth against this guy.
Yeah.
Totally would.
Okay, so that obviously brings up a new question. Let me go over to Savvy. Savvy, if if Madbuck is on the out, somebody's on the in. So there's a hip new BOA director in town. And my immediate thought was just say it's just Phoenix Ramirez, but I like the idea that it's someone else a little more detached. I want to have another layer, because I think Phoenix Ramirez is going to be someone that interacts with you guys a little more on the reg. The new director is going to be a little more distant figure, but what is something about this new person, this hip new cool director in town? Just give me a
made myself laugh because
Go ahead, Ollie.
I just made myself like whatever you say. I want whatever you say, but I just picture that he looks like Paul Rudd.
The new director is Paul Rudd?
He just looks
That
like
is
Paul
so
Rudd.
specific.
No, he just looks like Paul Rudd.
Oh,
That's
okay.
it. Just looks like Paul Rudd.
They are the youngest director in the organization's history.
Oh, I like
Oh.
that.
I think they need to not be a monstrous either, because I feel like if we just had this reorg, there will still be some people for whom that is way too incendiary. So they're like, all right, fine, we're getting someone who's like 100% human, but
Super mundane.
super young.
Yeah, they're a mundane. Yep, they're a
Yeah.
mundane.
I'm trying to find another cool name.
Wait, no,
We'll
they don't.
come
look
back
like
to the
Paul
name.
Rudd.
We'll come back to the name.
They definitely look like
Paul
they look
Rudd,
like
no.
Tilda Swinton. I want to say
Oh,
they look like Tilda
Tilda,
Swinton.
but really
Good.
young Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, a young Tilda Swinton is what they look like.
Which probably just looks like
It's good.
normal Tilda Swinton.
Well,
I
the
don't know.
Swinton, yeah, because
Oh, yeah.
she
Has
yep.
Tilda Swinton aged ever?
She's a pretty severe looking woman, generally. I don't know, like, trying to, like, I have to look up a picture of young Tilda Swinton. Not Swingtown, Colin. Swinton. Swingtown's a...
Oh my gosh,
Not a place
she
you wanna go.
legit looks
Wow.
He was super intense.
Oh, wow.
Just
shorter.
Literally the
Yeah.
same, just with long
the same.
hair.
Literally same.
Yeah. Holy
Oh,
shit.
Yeah, I'm
Wow.
here for it actually.
I like this. Okay, so...
She looks like some kind of fey creature. I'm
Oh,
She
yeah.
really does look like a
She
fake...
does.
But interestingly, this new director is not a fey creature. They just happen to look like one. So we have the youngest BOA director. How old do you think that is for youngest?
I'm gonna say
It might just be
like
to be honest, it might be if you're younger than Maddox, you're the youngest. I think he's the only other director in BOA history. At
I
this
want
point.
to do something really extreme and say for like business in the United States anyway, and say like 35.
Yeah, that's really young for something like this.
Yeah, like the minimum age to be president is 35.
Yeah, something
right?
like
Yeah,
that.
So
Yeah.
like just got the job out the gate.
fresh out of grad school.
If only you could be fresh out of grad school at 35 instead
Only.
of never out of graduate.
If only.
I had friends that
We're
entered
always
law.
gonna go back.
I had law school friends who were 35 when they entered law school.
I could never go back.
It ain't over till it's over. Tom made an interesting suggestion of that the person is a climber who views the BOA as a stepping stone, but is unsure how real it all is. That's interesting.
Fascinating.
Stepping stone to what? They really want to be Secretary of Labor? Like, what's the next? What's up from that?
Yeah, what is after BOA?
Well, I think so long ago we said that Rex had said that in his mind that the BOA was like in part of DHS.
Yeah, DOD, DHS.
Which would DHS or DOD, either of those. would make sense. DOD, yeah. So that would be. I think DHS actually makes more sense, but
Yeah, DHS does actually make a lot more sense because we're definitely trying to protect these shores, and that definitely seems more of a Mad Buck thing, like very Homeland Security. He feels like he's a very Homeland Security kind of guy.
Fucking Mad Buck. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then in the back of their mind, doesn't tell anybody, but does want to run for president.
The director, the new director, the new director.
Yeah, I think the new director wants to go for president.
They got big ambitions.
Probably doesn't tell anybody that, but
well, can I add something to that though? What if? Okay, so it's kind of crazy to try to run for president using BOA as a platform because you're a shadowy government organization. What if the new director is the one who wants to take this public?
Oh,
that's their long-term plan.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Look at this beautiful mess we're making for ourselves.
Yes.
They want to. It's the Michael Corleone. Like they want this to be legit. They want the BOA to exist out in the open. They want everyone to know about it, and like the people have a right to know what's being done in their name and on their dime.
Yeah.
So this is part of the reforms. Like we start by integrating new people into it, new spookies and monstruses of the world coming in, and then the final stage is we bring this to the world and let everyone see
Flounder
what's going on.
Flounder says they want to publish the new normal report.
Publish the new normal report. Oh, that's good.
Juicy.
That is their goal. Yes,
good.
That's their goal because they have now access to the reports and they want to make them public to the world.
That's good.
Yeah.
Some of the incidences that have happened. But yeah, specifically the new normal incident being the most seminal one of recent years.
Mm-hmm.
God, I gotta finally figure out what happened at New Normal. But I love that. Yeah, they want to finally bring that public.
Yeah, and
oh, that's good.
And thing is, they're not a bad person either. They have the most best intentions with it, and like I feel like people like Mad Buck would just view them as like, look, yeah, you're that radical left. I mean, I'm definitely gonna view everything about you to be horrible, but I like this.
That's good. Yeah. We see the real problem is that they hate America. Rest in hell, Rush Limbaugh.
Don't rest.
Please don't rest. Never rest.
Just rot.
Sad there's no hell for you to go to. So, okay, so I guess now it's time for a name to cap off this ambitious person opening up the world. What do you think? Savvy's got fantasy name generator.
it's just permanently open on my computer.
Yeah, I know. Everything I do is courtesy of fantasy name generator. It's been in everything.
The last name that could feasibly run for president.
Yes, it's got to have that good. You can see it on a yard sign.
Hold on.
Flounder suggested the new director is a distant relative of Mad Buck. Which is why they don't try to coup.
Which means this person is also related to Jakai.
Which is also everyone's descended from Jakai.
Everyone is descended from Jakai.
Do you want one? Do you want one that sounds vaguely like a superhero?
That was unexpected.
Kind of.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
Because I just got Sloan Savage.
Oh shit.
That's good.
Nuts.
That's bananas.
That's the most
Love
intense
it.
name I've ever heard.
Wasn't Sloan in the Newsroom? If you ever watched the Newsroom, it was Sloan Sabbath was the name of one of the characters on that.
Never seen.
That's really intense.
But Director Savage.
Oh, that's so good.
Also, like, can you imagine, like, Savage for President 1996?
Savage for president.
Yeah, that's such a presidential name, too.
Yeah, it even alliterates.
Sloan Sabbath was Olivia Munn, for the record. No, Sloan Savage. I really love the name Sloan. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great.
And yeah,
Is
directors.
this Sloan with an E or no?
Oh yeah, E at the end or no?
No.
I like it without
No.
the E.
No.
Yeah, I don't like what the
I don't like the E. I typed it and I hated it.
Sloan Savage. And I love I actually like the dichotomy that their name is Savage, but they're like the person that's trying to like be kind of the more cuddly,
Mhm.
more open director. That's
Yeah, but they're
taking
also
on-
in this
Please.
position of like
Ooh,
defense. Like
yeah,
Could
yeah.
there's sort of fighting built into it.
Could they just do the whole, like, if anyone ever makes a joke about it, be like, it's a family name, and that's where it comes from
So-
the
ooh,
Sword of Jakai. Yeah.
ooh.
Ah.
So what if the reason why Mad Buck doesn't do anything against Sloane is because the Savage family is just as up there as Mad Buck's family as like monster hunters. Like
They have their own reputation.
They have a hardcore reputation of monster hunters, and if he went did a coup, the rest of the monster hunter community be looking at Mad Bucks like, why would you go against this person? That's just
like,
idiotic.
Probably
Two
the only one that
branches
can
of-
hold their own against him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the idea they're distantly related, or even like, or maybe not even distantly. What if it's like,
It's like his
it's like,
niece.
like-
oh, that'd be interesting. Or like, what if it's like related by marriage or something? It's like Mad Buck's wife's like
Ooh.
niece or something. So like,
Fire became a good one. The first Monster Hunter duo was Buckley and Savage.
Buckley and Savage.
So what if it's that the first Monster Hunter duo was a Buckley and
A.
Savage?
Savage. Yeah,
This
they're
has
descended.
big Hatfield and McCoy
Hatfield
energy.
and McCoy
Yeah.
energy.
But
Yeah.
not is like feuding, but they're just like it's less of a feud thing. It's just like we just have an unspoken rule between us that we'll never step on each other's toes. And he can't do a coup against her because, like, look, you do that, we're gonna start a war, and your family will 100% lose.
Yes,
It'll become
yes,
a
I like
clan
that.
war.
Yeah,
and
and
it's
it's, and
just
it's
the Buckley Savage detente is what they refer to it
Yeah.
as.
and the Savage family would utterly destroy the Buckley family. It's not even like a question of would they last. It's like, no, we would just utterly destroy you. So don't start nothing. There won't be nothing.
I
I have
love this.
so many ideas, but this is going to turn it into the West Wing, so I'm not going to do that just yet. This close.
I hope you all were expecting this new Monster of the Week game to be an Aaron Sorkin TV drama, because that's 100% what it's going to be.
So work on your Aaron Sorkin dialogue, y'all. Okay.
Yep.
Hunting the monsters that haunt the newsroom, such as plagiarism, low subscription counts, running out of ink, advertiser space.
I want you all to be sure that you are pretending to walk while talking during every single scene.
The restaurant beat.
Everything is a walk and talk.
Oh god. Okay.
All right,
Cool.
so we have created 2 great NPCs. Thank you for that follow, Nate Scott Jones. I just saw you come in there. Much appreciated, Nate. We love you. Yeah, the Buckley Savage duo went back 4 or 5 generations, says Finder. That's interesting. The Americans think they've invented monster hunting. Yeah.
They would.
Tom's, the association with Tom has been around much longer than the BOA.
Oh, the association definitely has been around longer.
The association was heavily inspired by like the Council of Watchers from Buffy.
Oh, yeah.
It's the ancient organization that's been doing this for ages. BOA are the new kids in town by comparison.
The men of letters, if you will, Supernatural fans.
Oh, I'm not. Sorry. So that's the one I haven't gotten into. Supernatural.
They also have a British chapter that they don't get along with.
Yeah.
So
Oh, interesting. All right, so we've made 2 good NPCs there. We've made 3. So we have Phoenix, Maddox, and now Sloane. Man, I love that. I absolutely love that name. So that's pretty good, I think, for broad NPCs. Although I will always hear more suggestions as we go along if some cool characters pop into your head. All of you are also going to have... I sent you all a questionnaire that's the old 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 thing that we do, where you'll be able to make 3 NPCs of your own that relate specifically to your character. If you have any ideas for those now of like people that are significant in your character's life, feel free to shoot them out right now if you want to talk about any of them. Anyone have any of those that come to mind?
Actually, the one who would for me would definitely be my former master.
Mm-hmm.
The sorcerer I took over. I feel like that is why Marcus got pulled into the BOA, because Sloane knew my former master. That's the reason why. Like if if that never happened, I probably would never like even consider the BOA. But because Sloan knew my former master, Sloan was like, "Look, you're pretty much now the sorcerer of this realm. All right, you need to put yourself to work protecting, and we can help you do that. You shouldn't be doing this on your own." And that is how. And she brought up like the working relationship that my master that they had, and that is how he got pulled into the BOA Academy.
Okay. I like that a lot. So
like specifically, my master refused to work with Mad Buck though. He never worked with Mad Buck. He specifically worked with Sloan, but he wasn't part of the BOA. But he was someone who worked with Sloan a bunch of times.
All right, let's decide on this once and for all. What is the relation between the specific... And I like the idea that it goes back, the Buckley Savage duo thing. I love that.
Yeah.
But the present-day relationship between Sloan and Mad Buck.
Do you mean, like, what is the familial relationship, or how do they think about each other?
Oh, I think they obviously don't like each other very much. Maybe a begrudging respect. But what is are they related, like, by blood, by marriage? Or is it just, and I say just, it's not a bad thing, I actually think this is cool either way, but that you're descended from a great monster hunting family, I'm descended from a great monster hunting family, they worked together in the past, but I fucking hate you now.
I think they're not, like, blood or marriage related, but it's like those family friends that stay close through generations. So she probably will call him her uncle, but, like, the only thing that's not, like, ooh, director emeritus, like, the only thing that's not in formal title, but he's not her uncle by blood. She just calls him that as, like, a mark of respect. And so, like, he has that sort of avuncular attitude towards her as well.
I like the idea that you said Hatfields and McCoys before, but I feel like with the fact that these are prestigious families, this is like Roosevelt and Kennedy's.
Yeah.
Yes.
Almost. Yes.
More
Precisely.
Like American aristocracy.
Yeah. Like you can trace the Savage and the Savages and the Buckleys like pretty much the same illustrious
old money.
Like old money.
Yeah.
Like there are wings in Harvard and Yale named after.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
Yes.
There's an old wood paneled house in the Hamptons somewhere that has like some jumped up Gilded Age stained glass window coat of arms bullshit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's how old they are.
Yeah, these are Vanderbilts, that kind of. Yeah.
Man, they even have names that fit for that too, and that was completely.
I love the way that worked out. So Sloan Savage and Maddox Buckley. Okay, so they are, and Sloan is basically, you said, calls him uncle. Sloan is a generation younger than.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
We don't, precise ages don't matter, but she is a generation younger than Maddox. How do you think this turnover happened in leadership? Was Maddox voted out? Maybe. Was Maddox fired? Or I think because he's emeritus, I like the idea that he is emeritus, which means I lean toward the idea that it was one of those forced to resign situations, like you will resign so we don't have to fire you type of thing.
Yeah.
Or take the demotion so we don't have to fire you.
Yeah. And
I don't know. What do you think?
I feel like he took the demotion kind of thing because being the person he is, he would refuse to just like leave and accept this defeat.
Yeah, I think maybe he agreed, or they came to some kind of agreement where he got to name his successor, and that's how come she became the director, because he doesn't really trust anybody else. But it's one of those like, oh, but you can always trust your family things, even though they're not like family strictly speaking. It's like, yeah, she's young, she doesn't have the same experience or whatever, but
better the devil,
maybe
you know.
he thinks.
Yeah.
Right, and maybe he thinks that she's gonna be more in his pocket than she actually is. We don't know. Like we're just noobs, fresh out of the academy. We don't know anything.
Maybe he thought he can get that good nepotism. Maybe that's what he thought.
Yeah, maybe that is what he thought.
Ooh, I love the idea that's. Do you know? It was George Wallace that did that. The really awful racist governor of Alabama way back in the day. But he was termed out of office.
We have whole plays about him. That's where I'm from.
Yeah, he was termed out of office and then got his wife to run for governor, so that he could just be shadow governor, and she won. And he was so he basically got to carry on being governor.
It's not much better there now, you guys.
things have changed a bit, but I love the idea that Maddox. It was like maybe Maddox thought that he was being really clever. I'll name my successor. Oh, I know just the person, and really thought that she was going to be much more of a puppet than she turned out to be. And then she actually asserted herself like, no, I really am the director, and you're director emeritus. So get the fuck out of my office.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's kind of like she also took advantage of him, got the job, and then said, "Oh, this is what I actually believe in how I'm going to run this. Oh, screw you."
Yeah.
She pulled a real Elizabeth I right there.
He was not prepared for how ambitious she was.
Mm-hmm.
He was not ready for that. He
misread her.
He totally thought he could like, oh no, I can keep her under control, but he was not ready for how ambitious she was, and it just blindsided him completely. And he was like, oh, what did I just do to myself?
Yeah, she did a big. I learned it from you.
Oh yeah,
I learned from watching you, Dad.
He broke another one of the phones that day. He broke all the
phones. Ooh,
that day,
cool.
There was not a phone left in the building.
Yeah.
The whole yearly budget.
Calls incoming or outgoing.
No more after this.
Well, we have just hired you, but we can't pay you for the next 3 months because our entire budget is going to new phones.
To landlines.
You understand, right?
I love this idea that Flounder said Maddox thought that Savage would decline politely, because surely a Savage wouldn't actually accept the job. But it's like, I like the idea of like, yeah, making overtures like I'm leaving, but I'll just ask someone who would never take it, and then problem solved. Mm-hmm. And was shocked to find she took it. That's an interesting idea too.
I like that too.
I like that.
Any number of those could be true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the question, here's my question: is why? Why did he leave? Was he being forced out? Was he just getting old? And like, Cadence had the idea that he was injured and was losing his edge, so he realized he had to get out.
I feel like it's a two-part thing. One, he was losing his edge. Like whatever thing was keeping him going finally wore out. He was losing his edge completely. And when that started happening, that is exactly when Ramirez came forward. It's like, hey, I have this idea to help us change our image. And when that whole like idea was put in their brains, they instantly looked at Maddox as like, oh, you are a representation of the old guard.
Yeah,
what we're trying to put behind. And that is why they either said like, you can either leave, you can retire with honors, or we just debunk you down to a lower level.
I like this. There's that feeling of like, I know I'm being forced out, so I'm going to leave on my terms instead of having that.
Yeah.
What if the reason why he was asked to step down is because, you know, we keep talking about carpet bombing the zombies, but what if there was some job that he like royally fucked up and like there'd already kind of been this change? Because this stuff doesn't happen overnight. There's people that are, you know, just doing stuff all around. You know, we already have Ramirez as the first monstrous operative by now, I think. And then it just reaches this tipping point because he has some job that he completely fucks up. And they're just like, see, this is why we need reform. It's just so catastrophically bad that it would be a scandal if he was allowed to remain in charge.
Like the last nail in the coffin.
Yeah, they can't get rid of him, but it's going to be one of those, well, if you try to like dig your heels in and stay here, you're going to be asked to leave.
Flounder just said Maddox fucked up New Normal. What if whatever happened at New Normal is Maddox's fault?
Oh,
yeah.
You gotta talk to the new normies.
Yeah, and on top of that, when Ramirez brought it up, it wasn't even like a huge like pointing fingers thing at Maddox. No, it was a very calm and chill way about it. He says, and this is an example of what would happen when the old guard go by the old methods, try to get the job done using methods that are far outdated. And that he pretty much used what Maddox did as a baseline for their big presentation for all of this.
I like what's interesting though is that I ran a Monster of the Week adventure that took place in present day that ends in the BOA carpet bombing something. So at some point in the future after you guys, even if you succeed, at some point in the future they're going to go back to some of the old tactics. So there might be a few turning over.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not. Their tactics has never ended. It's just there's an obvious Shit.
But I like this idea. Yeah, there's a change happening here where they are trying to make things better, and I like. Wow, I had an idea just a second ago. It's getting away from me. Maddox fucked up new normal. Oh, I was thinking of a soft power version of how this could change that I find really interesting. I think that for Maddox as director, in order to justify the heavy-handed tactics that he's espoused as BOA director, that requires you to constantly justify to the higher-ups, whoever is DHS, DOD, whatever, the president themselves. You have to justify the fear. You have to say that these things we're trying to contain are so bad that I have to carpet bomb a city to contain them. That's the only way, because it's that dangerous and that bad. But now you have monstruses in the BOA, showing that not all of this is that bad, and actually we can be like normal functioning people.
Wait,
like you.
Are you saying monsters are people too? Is
yes,
that what
I'm
I'm
saying
hearing?
monsters are people too. And I'm saying that you guys have you're part of the experiment that's kind of showing that, like, those old heavy-handed tactics weren't necessary, because a lot of this stuff are things that you can work with and talk it out and cooperate with.
And that is why Sloan wants to release the Nebraska reports.
The new normal.
The new
report?
normal report.
The new normal report. That's why they want to
Code-named
Code
Nebraska.
name Operation
Nebraska.
Nebraska.
But that's why they want to release the new normal report.
That's why it's so
because-
flat now.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh.
It's in Southern Illinois, normal, so it is quite flat, in fact.
But
Yeah,
I
it
think
is.
that's why they want to release the report, is because it just goes along with all of this. It's trying
Yeah.
to show more that, like, look, they aren't bad people. We just have a lot of bad eggs that need to be taken care of and weeded out.
Yeah, Rex said, what's in the new normal report? I don't know. I'll have to go to a new normal crew. I'm going to hit you up and ask you what's in the new normal report. I don't know what's in the new normal report. I've purposely left it vague. It's always just been something bad happened. That
Ooh.
would
Flounder
make
says
it...
Sloan hasn't even read it.
Maybe it's classified at the highest level. She somehow hasn't even gotten a hold of it yet.
Ooh.
But so that's about to come out. So she wants to make it. I like the idea. She wants to make that, but she wants to admit to the BOA's role, sort of like, this is like a little like truth and reconciliation sort of commission type thing. Like, admit to all the mistakes they made, all the terrible things that they've done in the past, and then bring the public, bring them into the light of day, let the public know what's happening with them. That's cool.
That's a real, I think, like, if she hasn't read the report, that's like a real indication of her character. If she doesn't know what's in it and is still like, gotta get it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's an interesting character. I'm gonna have to think really hard about.
Because we don't know if she's good or not.
She might just be really ambitious. I don't know.
Yeah. Ooh.
I've just put a couple of those hooks in the dock as well.
Okay. So, to recap, it's 1999. The new millennium is coming. The computers are Y2K okay. And these three are the new Abnormality Containment Team number 3, Act 3. Fresh out of BOA Academy at a time when the BOA is trying to change its ways and be more inclusive and act in a more transparent fashion. Which is why we have 3 paranormal type people joining the BOA for the first time. The new director is out. That is Maddox Buckley. And the old director is out, Maddox Buckley, and the new director, Sloan Savage, is in. And I'm gonna say, this is so X-Files. I love it. In X-Files, the handler, oh my God, why can't I remember his name now? Someone help me here.
Internet.
The handler from Mulder and Scully. Why can't I think of his name? This is so embarrassing. It's he's the deputy director.
Oh boy, I gotta look this up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so annoying.
Too many facts in brain.
Skinner. There we go. Jesus Christ. Walter Skinner, who is FBI assistant director in that. Someone had said way back in the chat that they liked the idea that the deputy director was the real power and the actual director was a figurehead. I don't know if
Oh.
that's exactly true, but I'm gonna say that Sloan Savage is director of the BOA. Assistant deputy director is Phoenix Ramirez. That's your handler. That all
Yeah.
makes sense to me. And that is completely based on Walter Skinner in the X-Files. So, yeah, Assistant Deputy Director Phoenix Ramirez is the person who is... I'm going to say that they're heading up the ACT initiative. All of the abnormality containment teams. They are the one handling all of them. And it's been purposely not only, like, having new people coming into the BOA, like new supernatural people, but assigning them together to work together in teams like this is a whole new part of the initiative. Again, friendlier BOA. And this is their baby. This is their brainchild. This is the program that they're leading. That's fucking cool.
Oh, that's really good.
I like that a lot. All right, that's all good shit. And we're gonna be set all in Denver. So I have to have research to do. All right, let's do some character shit, shall we?
Let's do it.
Here's how I do it. I have the whole Session 0 deck here in front of me, freshly shuffled. All y'all have to do is grab a D10 if you got one nearby.
Do I have a good D10 is the question.
And then roll it and tell me what you get, and that's how many cards I'm going to burn off the top of the deck before drawing yours. So, let's start with Savvy.
4.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You got... Happiness.
Happiness.
All right. There was a birth that you remember with great happiness. Whose birth was exceptionally meaningful to you? What do you remember most about them being born? Why were they so important to you?
I'm gonna say this is like a foster sibling of hers.
Oh, okay.
From I'm gonna have to give them a name, but from whatever the family was that she stayed with the longest. Probably when she was a little bit younger, and probably that made them sort of the only one of these siblings that she ever formed any meaningful attachment to.
Mm-hmm.
She was sort of there from the beginning.
What do you remember most about that occasion, about them being born? Is it like an image that stands out?
I think let's see. I think for Naomi, there is this moment in sort of the aftermath of everything where everyone is okay and this has happened and everyone is fine and healthy and great, and there is this moment of calm where she probably for the first time felt like all of the people around her felt like she was supposed to be there. And that it wasn't probably one of the only times that she didn't feel like an outsider, like she was supposed to be there, and was just that would stand out the most instead of something traumatic. I think there's this moment of calm and there's no conflict there. It's just this is supposed to be happening and I'm supposed to be a part of it.
That's precious. And that was, you said the family she stayed with the longest. Was that actually a long time or just long by comparison for her? Did she get moved around a lot? Or?
Yeah, I think for her it was a long time.
Yeah.
But compared to, anyone else, was probably not that long, but.
So yeah, she jumped around a hell of a lot
Mm-hmm.
as a kid then. Okay. Is that a lot of different homes or a lot of different also locations? Did she go around the country? A lot of that kind of thing?
I think at least around the area. Probably lived in a few states, and then kind of eventually made her way back to the Denver area once she was an adult.
Okay. Back to the Denver area. Lucky.
How convenient.
Yeah, how about that? Did she know about the BOA? Like, I feel like with the BOA, most of the time it's people are approached to join. You have exceptional skills, whatever, we need you to join. Did she ever... I mean, so I'm going to guess she was approached at some point, but did she ever, since she lived in Denver, have any interaction with them in the way that, like, did she see something?
I think... Because she has this moment, obviously, where she realizes that the supernatural exists and then starts trying to, like, put together the pieces of, like, oh, man, like, is this what happened to me? Like, is this what happened to, like, my blood family? And I think starts seeking this stuff out. And probably got a little too involved with looking for something, hunting something down, looking for information, and maybe stepped on some BOA toes a little bit.
Yeah.
I
feel like that's a lot of people's
well,
first introduction to the BOA is, you know, you find out either that you're in their way is probably one of the more common ways to run into them.
Yeah. And then there's that, like, oh, you might be vaguely competent.
Yeah, here, take
Come
my
talk
card.
to us.
We'll call, yeah. I think there really is that moment with a lot of BOA agents when you meet them that are like, hey, we might hire you. Here's my card. Call me if you want to join. Also, if we catch you doing this again, we'll fucking kill you. All right, bye. Like, yeah.
That sounds right.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, I love that. All right, Wally, roll a d10.
Two.
And if anybody has a regular deck of cards within reach, let me know. 2. Okay. We burn 1, 2. Wally. Thank you, Anna. Oh, both of you? Nice. Good.
Yeah, we high-fived.
Hold on to those. Hold on to those.
Mine never left me from parse links.
Same,
Just
exactly.
sitting here.
Okay. You got sadness.
God dang it, why do I always get sadness?
Sad boys. Ooh. I think we actually kind of already answered this one, so maybe let's just elaborate further, because you already talked about this in your backstory. It says you left someone behind when you set off on your adventure. So we already sort of have an answer to that, right?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can add on to it, though. So who did you leave? That would be your ex-girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Does she have a name yet?
Her name is... Her name is Gloria.
Gloria.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Rolls off the tongue. Cool. So Gloria's who you left behind. Did Gloria try to stop you from leaving?
She did not, but actually no, she did. She did try to stop me. She tried her best to make it work, to make the relationship work, but I was very in my mind of like, no, I have to focus on this life I lead. And she didn't give me an ultimatum of you have to pick this life or me kind of thing. She actually gave me an ultimatum of either you have to pick this life or just leave everything behind, because you can't have the life you had anymore. And that is when he had that moment of like, oh crap, she is right.
Yeah, so this was she opened your eyes to the fact that when you get in this, you do become a ghost. You cease to exist. You can't, like, I guess telling you that like you're going somewhere that you can't come back from.
Yeah.
Much.
And she's meant it in the most like healthy way of like, look, you can't have this lot. You can't have both of these things at the same time. You're going to have to give one up. It's going to be bad, but you have to give one up. But he himself turned it into this whole goth self-loathing kind of thing, because he took it as a thing of, oh, well, I guess I'm not supposed to have any friendships or anything anymore. That's where he took it. So it's less of a, it's very much right now where he's at now because of that. It's that he's very it's very hard for him to have new friends because he's worried like, well, if I don't know if I can have any new friends in my life because this life I lead, everyone who comes close to me might be a weakness.
That means that he told her about the BOA when he started getting recruited. If she tried to stop him, then at least, unless she gave a cover story about where he was actually going.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Also, she knew about his magic. She didn't know about the BOA. He kept on saying like, I just am doing magic stuff.
Yeah,
that's where he kept on saying.
So when he left, was he like, oh, I must go pursue my magic? Like,
yeah, it's when he pretty
I
much
must dance.
Yes, it's like it was very much a thing of like he told her like, I have this big opportunity right now being presented to me, but if I take it, I will have to leave you behind. And it's like she presented that whole realism thing like, look, you either have to accept this life and leave everything behind, or leave what you're really good at and go with a life that you aren't supposed to be part of. And the way he just took it in a very unhealthy way of like, oh, well, I guess I'm not supposed to have any friends or anything in my life anymore because I took this life. So that's where he's at. That's why he just really took like this whole breakup in a way that not just a breakup from her, but a breakup from everything that was him.
Huh. That's really good. And also, ow. Right in the heart.
It is,
that's really, really good. I love that. Okay, so he's totally changed in a way then by force almost.
Yeah,
himself.
It was very forced change from because was
he a real involved partner when he was with her? Like,
oh yeah, totally was. He was honestly like he's like the guy is actually one of like a very good, nice. He's a genuinely very nice person. He's probably someone you could make good friends with and everything, but he just cut himself off from everyone in a like keeping everyone at a hand's distance. He would love to make new friends, but he's just always worried that this life will take them away from him.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Also, I forgot I had this. Ramirez.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Hi, I'll be your handler, Ramirez. Okay. Phoenix. All right, no, I love that, Wally. That's all awesome. And so he's sort of that's carried into his current relationships, as in the people he interacts with. He doesn't try to get close to people. Is that part of it?
Well,
or can he do that with BOA people because they're part of the life?
That's the thing is with BOA people. Oh, he can do it with BOA people. It's hard for him now.
Yeah,
it's very hard for him, and he's just very. It's very rough. It's very hard for him to bring people back in. Like I said, he wants to make friends again. He would love to make friends again, but he's now accepted this gothy side of him. You know, and it's kind of like, look, this is my part. Like, you know, I'm not coming back out of this. I like this aesthetic.
Well, yeah, when you sign up with the BOA, you sign your death warrant. I mean, you're saying that it's like the freaking Night's Watch. I mean, you're gonna live and die at your post.
Yeah, you know,
this is what you
you're already dead.
Exactly. Or as they say in Game of Thrones, what's dead may never die. But yeah, no, 100%. Like you know that this is your life now. This is what you do. And there's no room for anything else. So
yeah,
that's great. Anna, roll that D10.
All right. I have got a 9.
9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh wait, no, I gotta burn that one. Ah, that was sadness too. Damn. This is character.
Okay, cool.
Character.
Just one thing. If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be? How would this change affect your life?
Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. Well,
It's sure not going to be not being a banshee because
No, it's
she just
not.
strikes me as a proud banshee. She doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so let me give you just a little background on my thought for the backstory, because I didn't really share a whole lot of that, but this is what I've been turning over and over and over in my head. I think, because normally the way that, like, banshees get created is because somebody's, like, a rejected lover, and then, you know, they, like, turn into this angry, screechy ghost that goes and, like, yells at people, and then they die when they hear the scream. Yeah. I decided I didn't want to do that exactly. I think that in her previous life, Lou was a sort of like wilderness outdoor instructor, camp counselor type person. So she would basically like take kids out into the woods and be like, all right, kids, we're going to learn about how to track mountain lions and go camping and stuff. And I think that the way she became a banshee was, that's the other thing, is that this is a ghost title. It's like a ghost legacy, so it gets passed down. So like in order for the current ones to like pass on to its next life, a new one must rise to take its place. And I think she was out at the like summer camp thing with the kids, and I think she died in a really stupid way.
Oh no.
Like, it happens. It's really upsetting. It's not great, but I think like she just died in a really stupid way. And there was always this legend of like the camp ghost that the kids thought was real. And they were like, no, she's always there. Like when I have to get up to use the bathroom late at night, I can see her little ghost light. And she's just like, yeah, okay, sure, kids and their overactive imaginations. And then she meets the ghost when she dies, who's like, at last, now I can be free. You haunt this camp now. It's just like, wait, what? So I think if she could change one thing about herself, she's like, I didn't think that it was just gonna end in such a stupid way, just like that. Like, I don't even necessarily want to go into specifics for that on stream, just because like we did safety tools and stuff, but before I actually decide on how that happened, I want to make sure that's
we'll talk about that, because that'll certainly come up.
Yeah, exactly. But I think she just kind of regrets that that's how it happened. She doesn't regret staying behind, being a banshee, being a ghost. She's just like, really? That was it?
I have a friend from law school who, on the night of Halloween, dressed up like a shark. He made his own shark costume. It was very impressive. It was a full body shark costume that had like a big tail that like dragged on the ground. He dressed up like a shark and put a blazer over it. So like a shark in a suit, and went as Sharknader. He dressed as Ralph Nader. He carried a copy of Unsafe at Any Speed with him, and carried a briefcase, and he was Sharknader.
Oh my god.
And on the way home from a Halloween party, very nearly got run over by a car. It ran over the tail of the shark costume, but didn't get him. But he realized in that moment that if he'd been hit by that car, nothing he'd done up to his life in that point would matter, because he would only be remembered as the guy who died in a shark costume on Halloween.
The guy who died as Sharknader. Yeah.
The thing about it is that if he became a ghost, that's what he would have to wear for eternity.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, so
and hilarious to picture.
Her two things from the playbook that I chose, because these are the ghostly ones that are the most fun to me, is being immortal. So like, you don't age or sicken. So she's just always kind of the same. And it's just like, I was a young person in my early 20s, you know, when I died. Do I have to be stuck in my 20s forever? Are you kidding me? I wanted to be 30. I wanted to have wisdom. I wanted gray hair. I mean, I'm gonna have gray hair because that's how banshees look usually. And then I also took, what was the other one? Incorporeal. So I can move through solid objects and walls. The only thing I can't move through is other living things. So like people. I can't ghost through a person.
Well, the other part of this question is how would this? Okay, so wait, do you want to keep the just one thing? Is it how the stupid way you died, or is it the fact that you can't age?
No. I think that the fact that I can't age is an ever-present reminder of the fact that I died in the dumbest way possible. And like, I don't like to talk about it. Not because I don't like being dead. Like, I'm still around. I'm still me. But I just don't want to be like, yes, you know, tripped on a banana peel and fell on my face and died.
I love holding over the way you died though as a central mystery to this to this greater mystery. I love keeping that out there in the ether.
Yeah.
How would this affect your life if it was changed? So is it just, I guess that's really hard. Affect your death in your case, first of all, but also like, what would really what we're asking is how would your life be if you hadn't
it would just
died?
Be one of those things where like when you work this kind of job, you do so much training that like prepares you to basically have to get yourself and get other people out of dangerous situations. And I feel like she thinks it would have been more meaningful somehow if she was gonna die that young to at least be saving like a puppy orphanage from an avalanche or some shit, not like, you know. So it was like then you'd at least be remembered for something other than being the camp ghost that like no one even believes is real except for highly suggestible little children. Yeah, no, I mean like, yeah, just.
Oh, that's so good.
This was kind
I
of
love
like,
all of that so much.
No, like it would have had like a nicer bookend, you know, if it hadn't been for such a stupid reason, and then I wouldn't be haunting like an outhouse after dark. I've worked at a lot of camps, okay? Like...
Oh, that's so good. That is so good. Okay, Savvy, roll another die.
10.
Oh boy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you got happiness again. Your life's going well, Naomi.
Wow.
You carry a lucky charm everywhere you go. What is it? How did it come into your possession? Why do you consider it lucky? You do witchcraft and shit, so you probably got some kind of talismans.
Yeah, no, I think she has a lot of different things. I think the one that she sort of holds closest or considers like lucky or the most powerful or whatever is something, probably the only thing that she has of like her childhood before whatever happened to her family. I have to think about what it probably like
like a stuffed animal or like a
like
she's a child, right?
Yeah, no, I think it's different from like the other things that she uses, like a small like
it's like a piece
like a small size, like a little like
like a piece of like a baby blanket or something like that.
Yeah, like something like that. I think it holds some kind of like real, like, or at least she believes it does, some kind of real like lucky power that she like still has this, and it's survived with her, and so has, you know, so has she.
She believes in a very real sense that it's lucky, like it's somehow magical in a way.
I think so, yeah. Whether or not it actually is.
Right.
But like, yeah, I mean, she lived through all of that, and so did this little piece of whatever was before.
Oh, yes. Oh, so she almost identifies with it. That's interesting. That's where's the other part of that? Has it proven to be lucky? Like, has she like noticed things happen somehow with it? Noticed the effect of it somehow influencing fortune?
I don't know if there's any like one specific instance, but I think when she carries it with her, she probably has the tendency to like keep it in mind and sort of attribute things to that.
Confirmation bias.
Yeah, you know,
like how that works. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's like, you know, glowed and like, you know, floated in the air and spoken to her in a creepy voice or anything, but yeah, I think she thinks there's something there for that to have survived as long as it has.
Okay. Wally, roll a d10. And yeah, Savvy, think about what that is. I mean, I thought, yeah, it's whatever you think it is. I suggested baby blanket, but like,
yeah, I'm gonna think about it for a second.
Yeah. Don't rush
6.
6. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got happiness.
Finally.
Ooh, boy. All yours are romance. Shit. Everyone remembers their first kiss. Who was it with? When did it happen? What were the circumstances around it? When was your first kiss, my dude?
Because this goes hard with his background. She was his first kiss. He didn't get his first kiss
I was so hoping you would say that.
Yeah, he didn't get his first kiss until it was her. She was his first kiss. Because he was a science nerd. Hardcore science nerd. No one thought he was cool. He didn't think he was cool. So he didn't have a lot of confidence. It wasn't until after all the magic stuff happened that he gained confidence. He has a lot of confidence now, but I mean, he's a sad boy. But he is confident out the wazoo. But yeah, she was his first kiss. And it was very like one of those moments you see in a young adult novel kind of thing where
a YA kiss.
Yeah, it was like one of those YA kisses where it was during this big climactic scene, and she did it just to give him courage, kind of thing.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Courage to do what?
Ooh.
What's good enough to be worthy of a energizing kiss?
So, a big part of his whole backstory was that he helped his master defeat his like legendary rival. But to do that, he never really understood the concept of sacrificing something else to create magic, because that was like the whole basis of the magic. It's give and receive, sacrifice and take. And he had to make he was about to take a huge risk to save him and end this. And he was terrified. And that is when she gave him this big pep talk saying like, look, he chose you for this reason. You're the reason why you're not just some other person. He chose you to do this. And it was a whole thing of like, and I wouldn't kiss just some normal person. And that is when she kissed him.
You're special, boy.
I'm a special boy. Yes.
Special magic boy. Okay. That is adorable. Love all that. All right, Anna, roll your D10.
Okay. 3.
1, 2, 3. Happiness. Everyone got happiness. I'm so happy for you guys.
I gotta make up for literally every other session 0 I've played.
I think you got this one in... You got this one in Black Void.
Mm-hmm.
The same exact card. About birthdays.
Oh my god, the universe.
Do you want a new one? Do you want a new one? Because you've just recently used this prompt for another character. Because I will.
No, actually, I think I would like it. Can you just read it again? Because I don't remember all the details.
Yep. Birthdays are a great cause of celebration. Describe your most memorable birthday. What birthday was it? What made it so memorable?
So I think birthdays kind of take on a new significance when you're dead, because they don't really matter anymore, because you don't age. But
Death
I
Day
do
is more
think,
significant?
huh?
Or Death
Yeah,
Day
I think that it was one of those things where you know, like, people don't really believe the story of the camp ghost unless for some reason they've seen it, or like in the case of Lou, she actually became the camp ghost because the camp ghost kind of passed the torch on to her. And I think that the first sort of like birthday that she really like has a strong memory to was the first actual birthday she had after she died. And she was just kind of like, well, what does this even mean? Like having more of an existential crisis than you would have being dead and coming back as a ghost. Like, I'm sure that was his own thing. But this was just like, what does this even mean? And I think because she's incorporeal, but not, you know, completely or all of the time, clearly. I think that when she was first like, when she was newly dead, didn't really know how to control the corporality and incorporality. So like a lot of people just kind of didn't know she was there for a while. I think that first birthday after she died, there was a kid at the camp that like was always coming around the building where she was and was like, hi ghost, I know you're in here, kind of thing. And somehow knew that, like, I don't know, my kid, whatever it is, or just being silly or whatever, was like, it's your birthday, I made you a cake, and like had like a little, and she was able to materialize for it. So the kid had a great time because the kid was like, oh, you came to eat the birthday cake I made you, and she's like, oh yeah, somebody like knows I exist still, yay. So I think it was probably
Did not scare the shit out of the kid.
Kids are weird, man.
It's true.
They're afraid of stuff that doesn't make any sense to be afraid of, and then they're just like, grandma lives in the attic. Grandma's been dead for 30 years, and I'm like, all right, cool. Like kids, man. I think it was just like probably like a terrible like little mud pie with like some flowers pressed on
That's
it.
what I was
She doesn't
picturing,
really
yeah.
need to eat or whatever, but this is just like a very
So you met the. Oh, that's adorable to think though.
yeah. I think
I actually
think-
want to know if did she maintain any relationship with that kid at all? Like,
Oh yeah, because
someone she would come around to see.
this kid was definitely the kid that was like, went to that camp every summer, came back as a CIT, came back as a counselor kind of thing. So they had that in common. Like, I think for both of them, I think like camp and being out with people in camp was like one of the places that really felt most like home. So, you know, naturally wanting to come back to that and share that with people. I think this was probably
That kid's name, Sloane Savage.
Oh my god!
I was that baby.
That would be too.
I was
think
thinking
of a name for this kid, but I think
I
want
was
her-
just trying to play with the idea of how long you've actually been dead.
Oh, how?
So like, I'm thinking if it's Sloane Sabbath, like that would have had to have happened like in the 70s or something like that. If that was just an example, it could be. It doesn't have to be Sloane.
Man.
It was Mad Buck the whole time.
It was
It
Mad
was
Buck
totally
the whole
Mad Buck the
time.
entire
No.
time.
You've been
No.
dead since the 40s.
I refuse. back in the days of war bonds. No, I refuse. Yeah. So
Think about
she
that. Think about
remembers
how long
that
you've been
for his
dead.
birthday. Yeah, I will.
And I would like to know who that kid is down the road. You tell me.
I'll tell you more
Think
about them.
it.
I need to think a little
Yeah,
bit
think
more
on it.
because I have ideas, but yeah.
Okay, Savvy, you can now pick one. So character, happiness, bonds, or sadness.
Oh man. Well, I've got 2 happiness.
Mm-hmm.
My instinct is to say sadness because that's the kind of player I am.
Okay.
I'm gonna say sadness. Oh, I thought of my talisman.
Oh, what is it?
It is a coin. I don't think
Okay.
she knows where it's from. But I think the only thing that she knows about her dad is that he was a coin collector.
Ooh, oh, what a great
And so she has this one sort of like large coin that somehow survived, but it's got a small hole melted in it, and now she wears it as a necklace.
Ooh, I love that. I love... Does she remember? She doesn't remember much about her actual parents, really?
No, she was pretty young when they died, so she doesn't remember a whole lot, but I think she
She has
remembers
this
that.
image of... She had this image in her mind of, like, her dad's, like, coin collection, like, the big...
Mhm.
I can really just
Oh,
picture
what
that.
coin
really.
it is now? Because like,
I'm gonna have to find one.
yeah.
I'll find one. But yeah, I think that's the thing that sticks in her mind is like that.
What if no
That
one
collection.
knows? What if no one knows where the coin is from? There's a mystery to it.
I like that.
It's like some fucking like Fey realm coinage or something that she somehow got. All right, so welcome to Sadness Town.
Sadness Town.
Not all beliefs last forever. What do you no longer believe in? What course of actions cause you to lose your belief? Why was that belief important to you?
That's a really big question.
That is a heavy ass question.
What
Could be
do
anything.
you no longer believe in? Happiness.
Oh god.
No.
Take this character down.
uh I think how sad am I gonna make it? Family ties.
She doesn't believe in family ties at all.
I think I don't think she puts any stock in that. anymore.
So she's lost her own family, and then she's raised in foster homes primarily. Did she ever live with any relatives, any others? Well, because no. Okay, so foster homes the whole time, and her experience with that makes her really doubt the legitimacy of the concept of family, basically.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's probably still this like spark somewhere in there, and of like friends that she had along the way, or like some sort of like found family that could potentially exist. But yeah, the actual like blood family bonds or anything like that, I think she's like the reason I think that she's like trying to figure out what happened to her family is because she wants to know where she comes from. But it's not like, I don't think anymore. I think it changed over the years, and it's not out of any like love for these parents that she has no idea about.
So what it says here, the part of the question is, what course of action caused you to lose that belief? Like, what about the experience of like growing up and was it the experience of losing your parents, like their actual death, or was it what you experienced like in foster homes and stuff that made you lose that belief? Or both.
She aged out of the system.
Oh. Oof.
And they said, you're on your own.
Yeah. It's like, oh, so you were never really family at all. Okay. Cool. Oh, that's good. That's really good. The last part is, why was that belief important to you? Was it? Or...
I think at one point it was, and I think it's why, like, even with that, I think it's why she still holds on to this talisman and still like sort of puts stock in that specifically, because it's sort of followed her all this way. And it's that like that last connection to this family that she doesn't remember and never really had and wasn't ever able to replace.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah, I think there was just this turning point of like this is not going to happen for me. So I'm going to stop putting energy into it, and I'm going to stop putting stock in that, and I'm going to do what I need to do. And if I'm going to figure this out, if I'm going to pursue this, I'm going to do it because I want to know.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, and that's just really interesting, considering that like you guys are part of the first pilot group of BO agents that are having to work like in teams. So you're being forced into a little kind of unit, like family unit.
I really like the idea that they didn't tell her she was gonna have to work with the team. And then she like showed up and was like, what?
Yo, you know,
what?
It's like when you enter the military, like there's a clause in the contract when you enter that literally says like anything anyone promised you up to this point is no longer doesn't exist. So like anything a recruiter told you or didn't tell you, too bad. This is the deal now. Yeah, Rex knows. So yeah, the recruiters conveniently mentioned that you'd be working in a team. They was just left that part out. Wally, the we can fucking lie to your face clause, Rex says. Wally, happiness, sadness, bonds, or character? You've had sadness and a happiness.
Sadness. I'm gonna go with character.
Cool, I have a character right on top of the deck here. The pen or the sword? Do you use words or actions to fight? In your mind, why is that the more effective option? Do you ever waver in your choice?
He's a very talk his way out of kind of situation type of person. He likes to that's the way he always has been, and it really helped that his master was someone who did the same as him. Like, yeah, he has these amazing powers of magic, but his master always taught him, you can talk yourself out of any situation as long as you believe it enough to do it.
Right. And you don't have to resort to using anything too drastic.
Exactly. Like, he was trained that using magic is always a last resort.
Is he like a bit of like a pacifist almost? Like, is he?
Oh no, he's not a pacifist.
Okay.
He's totally not a pacifist. It's more the concept that his master trained him to believe, like, look, we have amazing magical powers. These are powers that a normal human cannot do. What you do should only be last resort, because the fact that you can move your hand and hit someone with a bolt of lightning should not be your first resort to something. And that's what his master like ingrained into his brain, that like, look, you have the ability just to wave your hand and blow someone up, but that should not be something you should be your reflex to any kind of situation. And that is why he believes in using words first, because he has a lot of power and he shouldn't use that power randomly.
Do you ever waver in that choice? Does he have a temper?
He doesn't have a temper, but there are so many times where he goes, I could easily solve this problem with magic.
I could just blow that up with fire.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I could easily end this problem right now. It's tempting. Oh, it's totally tempting. But no, it's something he sticks by because it was something he already believed in, but it was also something that was enhanced with the teachings that was given him. So that's what his always is always like his go-to. But
I gotta say, as a GM, I'm loving this because you, the player, are basically telling me that you will be very conservatively using magic, which it'll be interesting. You're a spell slinger who uses magic as a last resort. That's really interesting.
That's why I went with a lot of like the moves that he does. Like I went with like the third eye, the one that allows him to read like situations better. That's why I kind of gave him. I also gave him that kind of stuff because he uses his magic as a utilitarian thing. It's 100% utilitarian. If he has to fight, he'll. If he has to fight, he has to fight. But he always enjoys trying to figure things out with his mind first, or try to talk his way out of a situation.
Yes, yeah, that's awesome. That's all really good. And Flounder gave a suggestion that when Naomi started at the academy, BO agents were solo, but by the time you graduated, they changed the policy. That's awesome.
I love that.
Yeah.
My mom turned like 18, like 2 days after they raised the drinking age to 21 or something like that.
My mom as well. Yeah, got grandfathered in at 18. She still has her high school graduation commemorative beer stein because they just gave the 18-year-old a bunch of alcohol on graduation day, and yeah.
I love that. All right, Anna. Happiness, sadness, bonds, or character.
I'll take sadness. I'll find a way to make that seem somewhat optimistic, perhaps.
Okay.
I have a very optimistic, mostly
sadness.
Cheerful character here, because,
Your mentor met with an unfortunate end. Who were they? What did they teach you? How did they die? One fear.
I guess this might be a previous mentor because I could canonically state how it is that Ramirez died.
That's true. Ramirez is like you.
Because he's my mentor, right? Like we're
Why
both
not?
dead.
Dead.
That's true.
I'm gonna do that. I wanna find it's a way to okay. Because you're the GM, and I know we can do this together. To date, he is the only one at the BOA who actually knows the real reason how I died.
Oh.
He's gonna be the only one that knows.
Was he there?
The true story. No. I don't think he was. But as for how he died, let's see. He's a skeleton. What happened?
That's all started because Wally just said he's a fucking skeleton.
What happened?
Several hours back.
I feel like... So he died before I even met him.
Ramirez died before you met him?
Yeah.
And
so
you were dead. This wasn't when you were alive. You were dead already.
Correct. I was already a banshee by the time that I met him, and he was already a skeleton.
Okay.
So
you did not know each other in your literal former life.
Correct. Okay. We've only known each other in our afterlife.
So you told him how you died.
I think he wanted to know. And I was just like, I don't want to tell him because it's really embarrassing and I don't like to talk about it. I think that Ramirez, the way that he died was some sort of weird science machine gone wrong. Because I don't think he died like some, super violent, messy, monster hunting heroism death either. Like, neither did I. I died in a really stupid way. So I think it was probably one of those like hunts where it's more like we need to stop the mad scientist from like doing the machine that's making the monsters super activated. But I think it wasn't the monsters that got him. It was the machine somehow, and I think it just like boof vaporized him. But because it's a weird science machine, he like reconstituted as a skeleton overnight.
Dr. Manhattan. Oh
yeah,
man.
Exactly. So he got sort of like ooze, liquefied, obliterated, something like that by this machine, and everyone was like, "Oh no, we won't even have a box to put his remains in because there's just nothing left." And then he just shows up at work the next day. "Oh hey guys."
He literally. It's Dr. Manhattan if, like, the reconstruction stopped halfway through. Like.
Yes, if it stopped with the skeleton. Yeah. So I think he died trying to stop a weird science machine that was related to a monster hunt. Weird science machine got him. What were the other questions about that? Because I know it's something like, what does that mean?
What did they teach you? What did they teach you, and how did they die? Well, we already got the answer to that. But yeah, who were they? Who were they? What did they teach you? How did they die? So we've got like 2 out of 3.
So we know who he is, but what did this story teach me? This was absolutely the kind of mentory thing where, you're talking to a kid that's just having a bad day, and they're just like, "I don't know, I don't think I can do this. I'm not cut out for this. You're wise. You pick somebody better." And then they're like, "Hey, kid, I died because of a weird science machine vaporizing my body." Like, just like as a gesture of goodwill, told me this story, and that's why I told him how I died.
Oh, okay. So, that's when you opened up.
But he's the only one who knows. Nobody else knows, and no one else is.
I feel like it's something you can only really tell to a fellow dead person.
Just other
like
people
they'll get it,
man.
Yeah,
like,
they don't get
it.
it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I love that story because it has the big energy of like, I'll let you in on a secret. None of us know what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like that's
totally.
one of the
It's
most
not just you.
things a mentor teaches you is that they don't have it all figured out either.
It's
so,
true.
like, that's what I learned from this story.
Isn't it like it's like the most liberating day in a young person's life when you realize that your parents are fuck ups just like you.
Yeah.
It's great. All the pressure's off then. Yeah. So I think that really helped. That's sweet. All right,
See,
Savvy.
I told you I'd find a way to make it nice.
Savvy, you got that deck of cards nearby.
I do.
Shuffle up and draw a random card. And then tell me what you get.
I have a 6 of hearts.
6 of hearts.
Laying on the 6 of hearts.
Oh, shit! Okay. So I just had you roll on Megan Cross's bond table.
Okay.
And these are supposed to be bonds between player characters. 6 of hearts. Another character is your romantic partner.
Oh my god, this was made for me.
No, the second you pulled that card, I was like, I've played this game enough times to know what prompt you just got. Ooh.
Fight over me.
Oh boy.
Who is your romantic partner? How long you've been together, and how did you meet?
Oh
you
my
decide.
gosh.
You have to decide this.
Who's your boo?
Yeah, who is him?
Straight up.
Who did you say? Yeah. Did you say yeah? Who is him?
No, I said who is him. I said M.
I mean,
thought you were trying to
technically,
imply.
if you're calling someone your boo, it has to be a ghost, right?
That's
That's
also
just how
true.
this
Strong
works.
point.
That's also very true.
You guys, can we just make this into okay, ready to do a little character building? Everyone get in character. We're gonna do a brief dating scene, like a speed dating scene.
Oh no.
God. Ooh. Okay.
Ooh,
I need to stop laughing first.
I do.
I need a second.
Oh man, I need a second because
Oh God. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right.
What do you think, Savvy? By the way, I want to say, players should be aware, and audience aware, that they are free to reject any of these at any time. They don't have to use anything in the deck. So We are not foisting a romantic partner onto Savvy, but Savvy, if you want to take this date, you may.
We have also already discussed amongst ourselves that the likelihood of PCs romancing other PCs and being cool with that. So yeah,
I would like chat to guess which one of the three of us started that conversation.
It you?
It was me. It's literally impossible for me to reject this. Okay.
Oh my god, it's some guy says, ¿Por qué no los dos?
We discussed that too.
We did discuss that also.
Big polyamorous monster hunting team.
We did discuss that part.
Now it says, is my romantic partner? Is my...
The wording is your romantic partner.
Okay. So, like, some sort of established.
Yes, and it says, how long have you been together? How did you meet? I mean, it doesn't have to be... how long have you been together? It specifically calls you to answer that. It could be a week if you wanted it to be.
Since 10 a.m.
Since 10 a.m.
Hey, walk through the door, says, we're dating. That's it.
Just shoots up in bed at 3 a.m. Wait. What is this?
How did I get here?
You may ask yourself.
Oh god, you're still here.
Oh,
that's what I'm going with.
That's
the timeline I'm going with.
They just had a one-night stand? Is that what just happened? Is that...
Yes.
Is that essentially what...
Yes.
You were this Oh, what if it's like someone you were basically their Tinder date and then had like an awkward night and then met up again in school, like in BOA Academy? Like, oh, you!
Oh my gosh.
Hey, you!
Met in training.
Went
out once. One night stand. Oh, I don't know about this. Oh, we're on a team together.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I love that.
And that person is...
It's bad because Colin knows when I'm stalling now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go... I'm gonna go with Marcus.
Take it easy now, Wally.
Oh, no, it's just so funny.
I know, it's so good.
It's so hilarious.
I gotta...
Oh, because Marcus is on the rebound, too. He just got out of a relationship. That's right.
I wonder if you know that yet.
Probably not.
I'm gonna say.
Oh, no, you don't.
There's no...
If only I had the power to read minds. Oh, wait.
Oh, wait.
No, I don't.
So the answer to the question,
ability.
how long have you
I
been
would just
together?
like to remind everybody that the Spooky has this great ability called telepathy.
Hell yeah.
You can read people's thoughts and put words in their minds.
So yeah, how long have you been together? What? It's been, to answer that part of the question, it's been how long you think? Like,
I saw
this just happened. That'd be hilarious if we're in the wake of it. Or was it before? Yeah.
I think that happened a little while. Oh, I guess it depends on like how long this team has been a team.
I think, okay, so when we begin session 1, you will all be on your first ever assigned mission as a team. So you would have gone through academy together, and you probably would have a little bit of like going through training for like a few weeks together, but that's it.
Okay, so I think like the last week of training, it was this like really intense like flame out fling, assuming we're gonna get split up, we're never gonna see each other again.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah.
Show up to work.
Yeah, and
a few
then
weeks later, Monday morning.
We were just like, because that was his mindset also, because it's like, look, this is gonna be a quick one-time fling. That's
I'm not trying to form attachments here.
No, I'm not trying to form attachments.
Oh, and the reason why you're on the team together too, like you can't get out of it, is because you can't tell the BOA why, because that was against the rules in the first place.
Oh yeah.
In the academy, so you'll both get just probably shit canned if you tell them that like hey, I don't want to be on a team with this dude because.
Yeah.
It was a weird week.
It was a very weird week.
I was participating in unsanctioned stress relief activities during final exam week. That's why we can't be on a team together.
Yep.
It was a very weird week for us.
That's weird
Alright,
ass week.
team
Wild
together.
week.
Yeah, and we are now on team together.
Cool.
And you could cut the tension with a knife.
Yeah. It's like just us like staring at each other across the table. It's like,
Oh, that's good. All right, Wally. I need you to draw
okay,
a card.
let me do this.
So the 6 of Hearts
I got-
has been
oh.
used.
I got the 2 of spades.
2 of Spades. You and another character trained under the same mentor as children. This could get confusing. Someone else, for you, I think, Wally, that would mean someone else trained under. Yeah, so it's you and another character trained under the same mentor as children. Who is this mentor and what did they teach you? So your mentor that we've been talking about is your mage master.
Yeah.
Would anyone else here have? Is it possible for this to work? Who else here you think could have trained under? That seems a little.
Yeah, that doesn't work for.
Yeah, that doesn't really work for me. No, it doesn't.
Wally, did you want a different card?
I will definitely take. Let me get another card. 'cause
Okay, then just draw a new one.
Yeah.
Draw a new one from the deck there.
Let's see. Oh boy, Jack of Hearts.
Jack of Hearts. Oh, good.
Boy. Holy.
Jack of Hearts. Another character is like a parent to you. What important lesson did they teach you? To be fair, Lou could be much older than you by virtue of not aging.
True. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna say this. Actually.
It'd be weird if the one you're hooking up with is like a parent to you. So.
Oh yeah, it'd be very weird.
So I think it's Anna by default for this one.
No, well, that's the thing is, it wasn't. He doesn't view them. It's not a viewing him as a parent sort of thing. It's definitely not that. But it was definitely It was definitely like a words of wisdom that he very took to heart. That really helped him.
I would take wise older sibling that's mysteriously
Yeah.
also maybe a lot older than you, but
Yeah.
you know.
It's like
yeah.
you basically gave me like these very. You definitely gave me some advice in regards to like that I shouldn't be like, not that like you didn't straight up tell me like, hey, be happy kind of thing, because that's just shitty.
That's a stupid thing to say.
Yeah.
Sorry, but it just
Oh no,
is.
it is. It's a really stupid thing to say, but I definitely feel like it's more of a I feel like you may have told me some advice because like you could tell that I it's very difficult for me to let people in.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of, I feel like maybe you gave me advice to let me like hey, nothing's wrong with letting people in. It's like you don't have to let a lot of people, just like maybe enough kind of thing, maybe.
I have an idea for this if you're cool with it. I think
All right.
I'm imagining like this is some kind of. Oh, Colin, did we lose you again? Or are you just.
I'm here.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You had a look on your face like perhaps you lost audio again. So I
No,
was
that's the
just
look of
checking.
someone checking, making
were
sure
just
nothing's
thinking,
about to
it's
break
fine.
again.
Just checking, you know. Okay, so I think as we're going through the academy and doing stuff like this, we probably have some kind of like dorm that we stay in or whatever. And I feel like we were probably, you know, like studying in a common area or getting ready for some kind of exam or something like that. And we were all just talking and something came up and it was really bothering you. And you were like, I'm just going to my room. And you like closed the door and locked it. And I just was like, boop, because I can go through solid walls. And I was like, hey, you, listen, I know you want to go off and be by yourself right now, but let me give you some advice. And then was just like, not all of your friends are going to teleport through walls to come tell you this, but I am. And so, yeah, I think, I don't know what it was specifically, you can decide, but I love the idea of you just being like, no one can speak to me.
It was very
do not confine me, I am dead.
You legit, I feel like you were his, oh my gosh, you were definitely his emotional support ghost.
You know, we all have those. You know, emotional
You
support
were
ghosts.
his emotional support ghost.
Oh god. Once again, I am playing myself.
but it's like in a very that he would come to you and talk to you about stuff.
Yeah,
like
I like
because and it's because you were so like hey, doors mean nothing to me kind of thing. Like you forced your way in, like, look, we're gonna be friends.
We
This is
are friends,
aggressive
damn it.
friendship now. We are friends now. And yeah, I think it was definitely like she aggressively haunted him into friendship.
Oh yeah, I threatened
I
to haunt
haunted you into
I
friendship.
yes, basically, it was just like, okay, do you know what happens to people that go off by themselves to be sad? They get haunted by ghosts. Do you want that, or do you want privacy so that you and I totally blanked on your name. Naomi can. Oh yeah, nobody's supposed to know about that, but
But you go through. But doors mean nothing to you.
doors.
You might know things.
I think.
Oh my
gosh. I think I may have done one of those, like, we got, like, it was a drunken night or something, and I went through the door thinking it was the one to where I'm supposed to be. Oh, or I'll do you one better, is if me and Louisa and Naomi are roommates, and I didn't notice
Ghost
whatever the signal was, you know, like the sock on the doorknob or whatever, and I just whooped through the door, and I was like, oh boy, I'm coming back later, because I did not.
So good.
That's so good.
So
Does that
good.
work for people?
So good.
Yes.
I
It works great for me.
That works great for
Oh,
me.
you walked in on it. Oh,
Whoa.
that's so good.
Oh,
That's
that's
so
really
good.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And great.
yeah.
All right, Anna.
Like, Marcus and I would totally laughed about that too afterwards.
All right, Anna. Draw a card.
Where are my cards? I was writing things down, and now I need cards. King of Clubs.
King of Clubs is. King of Clubs. Someone tried to set you and another character up on a date once. Why didn't it work? Man, these are thirsty cards you're getting. Getting wicked thirsty cards. Do you want that card? Or do you want a different one? We're making a very tangled web right now.
We are. It's so tangled. What was the question
So
again?
it's someone tried to set you and another character up on a date once. Why didn't it work?
I want to take a different card because
Yeah.
I don't want to, like, hammer this down too much, especially
I agree.
because I literally moved into the room, and I think we've only talked about it like one time. I was probably like, what's the matter? You look like you've seen a ghost. The next day, like, after they're just like,
she loves that
this
joke,
is
doesn't she?
weird because yeah, exactly.
All right, get another one.
Okay. The Three of Hearts.
Oh, goddamn.
It's a sign.
You and another character are rivals. Oh, sorry, that's clubs. The Three of Hearts.
I was like,
Yep, Three of Hearts. Another character broke your heart. Oh my god. What?
What is happening?
This really wants a drama. Freaking
So much.
thirsty drama.
I'm sorry. I want to figure this out in game. I don't want to figure this out in session 0. I want a different card for session 0.
Okay.
Like, if that comes up in game, it comes up in game. But I think we have enough. I just want to keep Jack of Spades.
Jack
My
of
curse,
Spades.
it's followed us here.
One of you is really my father,
The
or
curse-
mother, or parent.
Cursed with the thirst.
I don't mind it. I
Jack
think it's
of
more fun
Spades?
to see what happens.
Jack of
Yeah.
Spades.
Yeah.
You and another character once performed an incredible feat together. What was the feat and what were the circumstances surrounding it?
Does the spooky ever, like, need the chance to, or I guess maybe it's spooky or the spell slinger, need the chance to, like, have a conduit for casting or doing, like, special
conduit?
things? Because,
How do you mean?
like, so there'll be, you know how, like, in like talking to ghosts or whatever, the medium is the person that
Yeah.
like channels the ghost. Like, is there some kind of magic or spooky weird type of thing that you all would need to do that having basically this, like, energy source of a living soul that's untethered to a body would be useful?
I
Like,
feel
did
that
we
would be
pull
the
off
spooky.
big magic together? Because I'm just like, woo, I'm a ghost. I have like, I'm basically like a supercharged battery.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think that would be the spooky.
Yeah.
Because like Marcus's magic is more a lot of elemental based stuff, like transforming. It's like, it's basically alchemy kind of thing. But I feel like that would definitely be a spooky thing.
So Naomi.
Yeah, I think we did some kind of big magic thing together.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say because the spooky doesn't. It's all really like innate magic, but the spooky has. But the spooky has the like the dark side, which has like a bunch of things that you can pick from. And so I think it would be interesting if like to do really big magic, like Naomi could do it, but had to pull from some other source, and maybe that was you.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's a good one, yeah.
Drained a ghost to do some magic, person.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think that's how my hair turned white.
Maybe one of my dark sides is guilt.
I was about to ask what your dark side tags are. Have you picked them yet?
No, I haven't picked them yet, actually. I was waiting for this to pick them.
Yeah, I like that that's how it happened, because otherwise she looks kind of exactly the same as when she died.
That's the only way you've aged, is that your hair's
white. It's through weird magic stuff that the BOA's like, we'll put this under observation, and then it goes in like a case file somewhere in like, you know, reams of filing cabinets.
Ooh, or conversely, one of them is poor impulse control.
That's the best one.
Every
the best thing
spooky
in the game.
I've ever GM'd has picked poor impulse control. It's
would you not?
It's
the chaotic.
It's the chaotic neutral.
Yeah,
exactly.
it is.
It's the I get to do crazy
chaotic
shit.
fun is what it is. It's great.
All right.
I'm gonna pick one that can tie into that though, because I think that's
we
really
did some big magic together, and you basically used me being a ghost as some power.
Pulled a little bit too hard.
Power source. Yeah.
Think on that. That's something for you guys to discuss.
Gotta think about what that could be.
Yeah. Don't have to get all those details now, but I like that. All right, Savvy, pick another card.
Ooh.
So we already got one for you for Wally, so we need one for Anna.
Got the 8 of spades.
The eight of spades.
8
of spades.
Like we all thought it. Okay.
It's just like, what romantic flavor of prompt is this going to be? Gee, I wonder.
You broke up with one of the other characters.
This might lead you for that. This might lead you for that one you just got with Anna. You and another player fought in a battle together. How long ago was the battle, and what were you fighting? Maybe that's related to the big ass magic you did. What do you think?
Yeah, I like that. Okay, hi bud. What would we have had to fight before we were like on a legit team? Because
maybe this is how you got scouted, whatever this thing was.
Oh,
ooh, that's true, yeah.
Early triumph, and that's how you got the BOA to notice you. That's when the people started showing up offering you business cards. That's interesting.
I like that.
Did you come to my camp? Like, what if you went there for some kind of like meditation retreat?
What?
Type
Okay.
thing,
What if
and
that kid was What if that kid was Naomi that you met when you were young?
See, I made the joke earlier, but now I'm serious.
I'm actually kind of. Did you
No,
say that
that's
earlier?
it.
I didn't hear it earlier, Savvy.
Yeah.
Oh no, I just said I was
100%.
that baby, and then I was like,
Yes.
what if? And then
What
I was like,
if?
no, this
Yeah,
can't
what
I
if?
possibly
kind of
It's
like
you.
it.
Yeah.
That was you.
Me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Like,
Oh no, I love this idea because she's
Yeah.
like, I mean,
I'm
if she's
gonna cry.
especially
this
as
is
a-
really sweet.
especially younger, like, and as a teen, like, if she's in jumping around from home to home, like, when she was young, one of her foster families sent her with their other kids to this camp,
Yeah.
and so she saves up money and goes and went back
oh
every
my
year.
gosh, is she both of their emotional support ghosts?
But also, she was the first person. Naomi was the first person to see Lou in corporeal form. So like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that was huge for.
That
was huge
a
for
big
Liv,
deal
too.
for me
All right,
too.
love
Mhm.
this.
I love
this.
it.
I love that Lou is like this linchpin of friendship between these two.
Yeah.
Just wrote I was the camp kid with a bunch
I
of
was
exclamation
the
points.
So what did you guys fight though? We answered that one, but yeah,
What happened at camp?
Yeah, maybe some
One
weird
time
shit happened at
At
camp.
ghost camp?
Yeah, no, you absolutely call it that. I think, like I said, I took a lot of inspiration from like the Lumberjanes comics and stuff like that. So this is just a camp where weird shit happens on the regular, yet somehow mysteriously, all of the parents are just like, oh, children and their tall tales, and no one's really sure if that's because I think some of the parents legit don't believe that there are cryptids at this camp, but there's absolutely cryptids at this camp. That's just a normal part of this camp. Some of the parents think that, oh, it's just tales, and then some of the parents are like, yes, I know, because that's where I learned that the Sasquatch was my best friend, or something like that. So this is just a thing that happened. This is a weird camp.
This whole cryptid summer camp is a whole
Yeah.
season of Monster of the Week in and of itself that is coming to a channel
Prequel.
near you at
This
some
is-
point. Because I want
prequel.
cryptids. I want the
Like,
Gravity Falls. Like
I
sort of-
have multiple outlines saved on my computer of character ideas for just such
Jackalope
a thing. So,
infestation.
Jackalopes.
yeah, we fought a bunch of jackalopes.
Yes.
Let's do it.
The camp kid.
Fucking
And we
jackalope.
like
fought-
I
He
am.
was the
bunch
baby.
of-
All
I
caps.
am.
I
so
was that
tempted.
baby.
I am so tempted to say that Marcus went to that camp also, but he was the normal kid, so he didn't get wrapped up in all those adventures.
Yeah, you didn't know me.
Oh,
then.
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know you. I didn't know about all these
Yeah.
adventures that were going on.
You maybe heard stories about it, but I
Yeah.
don't think we've ever talked about
Oh,
it
no.
like as peers, like adult peers. So like I haven't told you that I come from a camp and like I'm a haunted summer camp ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll come up
Haunted
with
summer
some
camp.
stuff about the
It's a
camp
living.
and what it is, and yeah.
They discover it because in a box of keepsakes somewhere under her bed, Naomi has like one of their like old like group like camper pictures, and
yes.
she's on one side,
Yeah.
Marcus is on the other side, and he's like, "Wait, what?"
Oh,
And
is
it's
that like
sweet.
at
And
your
they lived
apartment
happily
when?
ever after.
Is that like at your apartment when y'all have your one night stand or something? He comes and sees.
Yeah, she has one of those
She's-
big things on the wall. It's like the big canvas, and it's got all the ribbons strung across it, and it's got like all the
Oh.
pictures stuck in it. You know, like
Yes.
everyone had in their dorm room.
Yep.
I definitely didn't have like 5 of those, and just one of those pictures is there.
I just
And he's
saw-
like,
He's like,
that.
Please.
Ooh.
I just
me.
saw Rex in the chat said camp counselor is just some lovely grandma type that's like, oh sweetie, let me see that tentacle on this.
Have a
I
snickerdoodle.
love it. I love it. I love that so much.
Oh.
Summer camp for cryptids. Well, it started as a summer
Lovely.
camp infested with cryptids, and now it's turning into a summer camp for cryptids.
Yeah.
Cryptids.
Yeah,
Why not both?
kind of happens a couple
Porque no los
times,
dos.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you gotta have like the cryptid camp counselor to teach the kids how to deal
Yeah.
with that stuff. Like that's kind of what I do, you know.
All right, Wally, draw another card.
This
so happy
sounds
right
good.
Oh,
Intense.
King of Spades.
King of Spades is another character gave you something years ago that you still carry to this day. What was it, and why did they give it to you? Why do you still have it? So the thing that jumps out to me when it says years ago is now we've established that you and Naomi were at the same summer camp.
Yeah.
What if you have something from then that maybe she didn't even realize she gave you? Maybe you found something of hers?
Oh boy. Savvy. Do you really want to see how far we go down this romance rabbit hole?
Yes, have you met me?
They exchanged friendship bracelets.
Aww.
They
So they
did.
did meet.
They met. Like Naomi and Marcus met in summer camp.
Right.
They exchanged.
I think it's just been so long that they don't
Yeah.
recognize each other.
They don't recognize each other. It's
Mm.
like one of those situations.
I mean, it's
again,
been,
we
yeah,
just don't
like
This
recognize-
was
20
before Naomi's goth phase, so I think
yeah.
she looked really different.
Neither of them
So
were
this is
goths
like
at this
20
time.
years ago. Like,
yeah,
at least.
Yeah.
none of them were
a long
goths at the
time.
time, so of course they wouldn't recognize each other.
Oh, the goth face.
But
hadn't
they
hit, yeah.
they gave each other friendship bracelets. They exchanged friendship bracelets. And
Precious.
we had we had a camp friendship. We gave each other friendship bracelets and everything, but it was just a camp friendship. So like
Yeah,
we don't remember those people. But then, yeah, then
they
that's
keep coming together, expecting to
Mhm.
never see each other again.
Yep, yeah, and
Weird
he
when
kept
Harry
it-
met
he-
Sally.
and he kept the friendship bracelet because hey, it meant a lot to him that he got a friendship bracelet from a girl at a summer camp he met, and he wasn't sure he'd ever see them again, but it meant a lot to him that he got this friendship bracelet from her.
Oh, it's precious. Yes! It's all working.
Oh yeah,
That
that's
is
a
working.
camp crush. It was a camp crush.
Camp
It was definitely
crush.
a camp crush situation.
I
yeah.
love that. Just tuck that one away for a dramatic
Mhm.
moment.
Also, I love how this did go now, though. Like, you're moving in a wholesome direction. If we went from, like, one-night stand hookup to one-night stand, but yet also we were each other's camp crushes 20 years ago, and it was really cute. But, yeah. It's moving in a wholesome direction.
It is, yeah.
I'll
Anna,
ruin it. Don't worry.
You're
That's
welcome. Yeah, what's up?
draw a card.
Okay.
This will be your thing.
Who did
for-
you accidentally kill at the summer camp?
I know what you did last summer.
The big reveal is that I was a ghost the whole time.
Oh no, Bruce Willis.
Oh, that's a good point, though. Did you
Wow,
have
spoilers.
camp names? Did you have camp names? Is that why you were never still in touch with each other?
You actually didn't know each other's real
You
name.
didn't know each other's. Yeah,
Oh, that's precious.
that's also totally a thing.
That's true.
Eight.
Campaigns is a real thing.
8 of
Diamonds.
diamonds. 8 of diamonds. Ooh, interesting. You owe a large amount of money to another character. What of yours
Okay.
did they pay for? How close are you to repaying your debt?
Okay, give me 1 second to think about this.
You can have a few, because I
Is
don't
it
know.
therapy
what to
after
do
you
with it.
walked in on us? Because you don't have to pay me back for that.
You don't have to at
You
all.
can just have that one.
That's a freebie.
Like a chat is just a series of popes saying, "Oh my."
Oh my gosh, what if it was like some stupid kid bet they made with one of us? That if I could do all of this, you owe me $500 kind of thing.
$1
We're
million.
turning it so wholesome.
It's so wholesome.
Okay, I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna have this instead of like actual money be related to knowing Naomi as a kid at camp. And I think there's some kind of like weird wager that I have made. Oh, would you have told Lou about like your parents and the coin and stuff? Like, would she have noticed any of that? Would she know about any of this?
I mean, she wears it every day.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I think at some point it's reasonable for Lou to have been like, hey, what is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think
I
she tries to hide
think-
it.
I think I've promised that, like, I was, talking to you as a kid and not really able to fully manifest. So this was more like, this was a dream that now we could make real of finding out where the rest of your dad's collection is. We're going to find that. We're going to find it together. The little coin is going to find its whole
There's
big
a little
giant
slot somewhere for that
safety
coin.
deposit box somewhere. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think it's not that like I owe you a lot of money, but it's just like I was like, yeah, no, like if we get to the point where you're grown up and I can solidify long enough to exist out in the world, we're gonna find that collection. It's got to be out there somewhere.
So
Yeah,
wholesome.
Naomi would hold her to that. If for no other reason than to just be petty.
Yeah, and we both have like
You
weird powers
promised.
that can happen. Yeah, exactly.
You said.
You pull that like pinky promise stuff on me when I'm just like, ugh, I can't drive you to the airport right now, but you promised you would help me find my dad's coin collection.
You pinky promised.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like she makes this face 80% of the time.
I love the way this character is developing, and I love her
Makes
already.
that face
She's
like
cute.
Marx is just like
Jerk.
she makes that face. Marx is just like,
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
that's it. Right there.
right
She
there.
has a soft nougaty center somewhere in all the assholeness.
It's like what is it? There's
And it's
something in her-
unlocked with an old friendship bracelet from camp.
It's like
Yep.
I think Mark Maron said it's like his friendship is like being his friend is like a nice house, but to get there you have to walk through his fuck you vestibule first. So she's like,
Yeah.
she's got a bit of a fuck you vestibule. They you gotta work your way in.
Mark is like, I love the fuck you vestibule.
All right, you knew this question was coming. My final question to each of you. You totally knew this was coming. Starting with Savvy. What's Naomi afraid of?
Being left behind.
That's rough. She got left behind by the entire foster system. That's heavy.
This time, it's gonna be different. She tells herself in the mirror every day. You invited me here.
Oh, that's good. Interesting.
I do this to myself every time because I could have said, spiders.
I could have said spiders. That's really good, though. That's really good. I can totally... and considering thematically the setting we're talking about with you guys being in a team and everything, that's perfect. I love that. Wally, what is Marcus afraid of?
Dying alone, and it is his fault.
Fuck.
Jesus, that was quick.
No, it's something I was thinking for a while, because it's like he doesn't want to be like, yeah, his master found his true love at the end that he helped rescue, but there was a long time where he forced himself to be alone, and that's his biggest fear, is to end up like that. But it's also but this is also a life I have to live kind of thing. It's he doesn't want to die alone. Like,
how's
and
that
he
impact
doesn't
his new kind of relationship with pseudo-relate or whatever is happening currently between you with Naomi? Like, you said, okay, so I asked because you said before that he was distancing himself from people, but that people who are BOA, like, they get it, so they can be part of his life more. Does he want to, like, have a relationship with Naomi permanently, or because she's BOA, she's part of the life, she could understand it at least?
He does. He doesn't know how yet to pierce the hard candy shell that is Naomi to get to the nougat inside. You know, like he does, but it's also at the same time he doesn't know how to, like, pierce that shell. And he doesn't know about the friendship bracelet either, so.
You're afraid of dying alone. She's afraid of abandonment, essentially. This sounds like a healthy, non-codependent relationship for
totally.
here.
Oh, this will be fine and not
totally
burn
fine.
out in a blaze of glory.
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh, my disaster children. I love you so. Alright, finally. Sweet Lou, what you afraid of?
Lou is most afraid of running into somebody from her pre-ghost life. Somebody other than Naomi. Somebody who has no idea that she's been a ghost this entire time. No idea that the camp is a cryptid start. She does not know how she's going to explain that or how she's going to react to it.
That's really good. That's really good. Interesting.
Like, people are always afraid that ghosts will come back to haunt them, but, like, she's afraid of being haunted by people that, you know, stayed living in that timeline. And it's just like, whoa, the scary potential what ifs of that is terrifying for her.
All right. That's really good. Okay, so for those out there in Viewerland watching this, the Session 0 method I've kind of been doing for this is something I took from Quietus by Ollie Jeffrey, which we had on the channel just a couple weeks ago. But it's called CATS, which stands for Concept, Aim, Tone, and Subject Matter. As the things that you cover as part of the Session 0. And the subject matter will be covered primarily by the Lines and Veils, which we'll do outside of this session. So they're going to be filling out a spreadsheet of the things that they want or do not want. And also Lines, Veils, invitations, so things you actively want to see, let me know. Concept, we've already discussed as just being the fact that you are all new monster hunters. We've discussed the whole backstory and lore of the BOA up to this point, so we have that pretty well covered. Aim, I just want to establish really quick. This is what you're all trying to accomplish together, the type of story that you sort of want to tell together. What do y'all think about that?
I really feel like this is definitely going to be a story about interpersonal friendships and relationships.
Massively.
That's definitely, that is hard.
Easily.
Like, whatever, like, there's definitely going to be a mystery, but it's really going to be exploring the bonds that these three characters have between each other.
Yeah.
Because there are some heavy bonds. We've established some heavy bonds, but it's just like, what do they mean exactly?
Yeah, so what sort of themes do you see developing in that kind of storytelling. Definitely, there's this taking me back to like Song of the Deep days, but like that we talked a lot in that show about the whole found family theme being very important, and there seems to be some of that going on here. Definitely.
I'm ready to see what happens when the conflict of us having various levels of what we thought were casual connections to each other turning into things that are more serious, and how that is then clashing with our job, because we're doing a really dangerous, really serious job. There's a lot riding on us as a group. Getting your personal feelings involved makes that really messy. That's probably gonna fuck some shit up.
True
so
point.
like
Yeah.
I think that's the kind of story that we're gonna be telling, is like where does dealing with this personally intersect with
Are you saying
what we're trying to accomplish as part of the wider
a
world?
theme of this story is don't shit where you eat? Is that possibly?
The theme of
what's
this
coming
story is don't have friends, but that's terrible
Don't
life
have
advice.
friends.
Yeah.
Do have friends.
Not only is it messy, it's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
Okay.
Friends are dangerous.
What do you got? Anything on that, Savvy? Do you have any regarding the type of story you'd like to tell?
I mean, that's pretty much what I was gonna say.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think
totally see
I
that.
think leaning into that
also-
is really interesting and fun. That dichotomy.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, I
Like-
see all that developing on what we said. What's up, Anna?
I know we're gonna do it too, but like I'm also just very excited for pulpy Monster of the Week stuff, where it's just like, oh my god, we found out that this thing is weak to water. Quick, grow up the super soakers. Like
Yes.
I'm ready to tell
Oh,
a
yeah.
story that's fun. You
Yeah.
know, like we put a lot of serious stuff in here, but it's just gonna be awesome because yeah, I'm
That's
excited
the-
to tell a story that's fun.
That is the final question, is tone. What do we think? What kind of tone do we want to do for this?
Oh, I want it fun.
Want to make it fun?
Oh yeah,
More
like
lighthearted?
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely lighthearted, because there's some, like I said, there's some serious bonds between each other, but we need that lightheartedness to balance
do.
it out.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and we joked about it, like, oh, we're making it wholesome, but like, I think that's kind of nice.
I do too.
to like
and I-
have that in the background where
Yeah.
it's like it's tough and it's intense, but then
Yeah.
also like it's like friendship bracelets and camp pictures and like
Yeah.
that's
Like,
really nice.
oh my gosh, I just have this image of art in my head of like, you see this picture of like in the foreground of the picture, you see Marcus and Naomi, they're just like hanging out, like, but they're like kind of distant from each other and they're hanging out, but you see in the background of them as little kids exchanging the bracelets.
Aw, that's cute.
Yeah. Oh dang. Yeah.
Like I think that knowing who we are as role players and who we are as people, we have no problem bringing seriousness and like deep feels and gravitas. I think we kind of need that guiding,
You have to be forced to
but
be.
we're here to have fun,
Yeah.
like external structure thing. Because I'm like, we're not going to have a problem taking this seriously. We are gonna need to remember,
Yeah.
hey, we're on an adventure.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
We'll find the drama among the levity instead of the other way around.
exactly, Yes.
For real
Mhm.
though. It's just like,
We will
okay, so let's put
snatch
ourselves in
drama
a
from the
fun
jaws of
environment.
comedy.
We're very good
I'll
at finding
find
our own drama.
I
Thank you
agree.
very much.
So I think that means for me as a GM, that usually means that some NPCs are going to be more jokey. Probably. I mean, I like.
Hey, Phoenix Ramirez.
I'm just saying, Phoenix Ramirez might have a funny voice or something. Like it might.
The literal Grim Fandango.
Yeah.
Grim Fandango. Yes. Yeah, Act 1 gets the shit mission, says Pope. I like that you're Act 3 though. Like I feel like you're kind of the Hufflepuffs of maybe the.
Oh my god,
the
we are
actors.
Hufflepuffs.
You're the.
Do we, because we're the Act 3, do we get like, it's not a shitty dorm, but it's not also the best dorm.
Your digs are probably not the best, and you guys we can chat as much as you'd like, outside here as about like where you guys live, and you're kind of like, I like to give you sort of like a base. So you're welcome to totally brainstorm on that. Some kind of home base in somewhere in Denver. So I don't know, maybe look up some cool, if there's any cool like weird sites in Denver that would be the cool spot for like a site of a secret underground facility, let me know.
Or we can like do straight up Archer and like be inside of a laundromat.
That too. Oh, I love something like that. That'd be hilarious. Again, it's Men in Black vibes, where it's like
Yeah.
they completely live among us, like back of like a bodega. There's some kind of I love that. Okay, so this is gonna be fun. Old bed and breakfast, says Pope. That's interesting. Live in a boarding house like Hey Arnold.
Oh yeah.
It's an old bed and breakfast that was abandoned because everybody thought it was haunted and I was a literal ghost living there.
A bodega. Bodega
Oh,
cats.
God.
Tons of
Oh,
linoleum
God.
floors. Alright. That is a lot of good shit. We have made a great setting. We have met some interesting people tonight. We have met some very interesting NPCs. We've set up a lot of pins to knock them down. And I'm going to dig through my Tome of Mysteries and find something cool. And I will let you all know what it will be in days to come. But all of you out there watching, you're going to have to wait and see. Till next week. So, if anyone has any last-minute things they'd like to tack onto any ridiculous fun facts for your character, spit them out. In fact, we'll do it as we do outros. Give me just a fun fact about your character on the way out. So let's do first Wally.
Sup, y'all? It's your boy Wally. You can find me on Twitter at Wally132, WALLE132, like the cute little Disney robot. I am very excited for this game. I cannot wait till next week until we can just jump right into this. But I got some other things to do before next week. Like on Wednesday, I am over at Weave the Tale playing some Black Boy with 2 of these people right here. Such a great game. I cannot wait for our next session because we arrived on a new planet. I'm very excited.
Sure did.
Yep. Then over on Friday, I'm over at Valerian playing some Lancer with this wonderful person over here down below. We are a bunch. Oh boy, last week was pretty. It was intense, and let's see how that goes. Yeah. And then after that, I'm gonna be playing some Starfinder over in Nomadic at 8 p.m. Playing some All Bear Starfinder game. That's gonna be a lot of fun. And then this Sunday coming, Matt F 7 playing me some Sunset City over at the Killer DM. Oh boy,
I love it.
it's gonna be a big old grand time. And then back here for Monday for some Monster of the Week.
Mondays at 7.
Yeah, and one unique thing about my
Fun
character.
fact.
I'm gonna have like a nice little have a little bit of Walliness in him. He can recite. He's actually really good when it comes to like pop culture knowledge, and it's very hard for him to turn it off, kind of thing. Like because he was a huge nerd before.
But like you want this guy on your trivia team when you're doing.
Oh yeah,
like,
you
pub
want
quiz.
him on your trivia. He's
Yeah.
the type of person you want in trivia because he was a huge nerd. And if like you go into his dorm room, it doesn't look like around his dorm is like very much like, oh yeah, this guy is a goth, he does magic. But then you look closer, you notice like, oh, there are several models of Gundams around his room. Why is there an action figure display case over there? Like, oh, he's one of those kind of nerds.
Oh, I'm loving picturing his
Yeah.
dorm room. It's great. Oh, that's good. That's really good. Definitely, yeah. Work on those images,
Oh,
man.
God.
When we come back, I'd love to hear all about his dorm room.
Yeah.
And his decorations. That's cool. All right. Thank you, Wally. We'll be back next week with you and get to know Marcus. Anna.
It's me. Hello. Yep, Anna, Nymeria941, pretty much everywhere on the internet. I'm so excited for this game. I can't wait. I've been dying to play Monster of the Week again for forever, and I'm very, very glad that it's finally coming true. Wally is in most of my schedule. As you heard, we got Blackwood on Wednesday. On Thursday, I GM a game of Parslings over on Weave the Tale. Colin's our fantastic tech for that, so he will be there doing all the cool scene transitions and music and stuff like that. And that is a game where there's a bunch of people living in a weird version of Seattle that have these ink tattoo word parasite things living inside their brains and potentially taking over the world and overthrowing a government, maybe? I don't know. We'll see. We're going to see what the characters decide to do there. Friday, we got Lancer on Valdrian's channel, and then later on Friday is the finale of Beyond the Twilight Road, which is a Spyhander game of dark faith fantasy bullshit that I play in over on
Everyone
Critical
pitches it the
Misses.
same way. It's always
Because
bullshit.
that's exactly what it is. It's the most succinct, accurate, and punchy pitch for a game that I've ever been in. And I'm just like, yes, this is what it is. Things are coming to a head. There's a lot of danger. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of probably character death. So make sure not to miss the finale of that. That's on Friday night at Critical Misses. And then this Saturday, I have a special, exciting one-shot thing coming up, another Zweihander game that we are running as part of Jasper's Game Day. I'll have all of the stream info stuff shared and ready to go on Twitter. But that is an organization that does teen suicide prevention and gives teens mental health resources and all of that good stuff. We're going to be doing a grim, perilous, and thirsty, very funny, wacky, silly Blazeball game. It's going to be awesome. Not Blazeball, Blitzball.
Blitzball. Okay, I'm like, what the fuck is Blazeball?
Blitzball.
Okay, Blitzball. Hell yeah.
Is
I got really excited for Blazeball.
I know that Charleston
Blazeball?
Shoe Thieves for life. That's all I'll say about that. Yeah, that's where I'm at, and thanks for watching, everyone.
Yes. And finally, Savvy.
It's me. Hello, I'm Savvy. I'm at Savvy Seaworth on the internets, mostly on Twitter, where I tweet about all the stuff I'm doing. I was gonna say my schedule is pinned there, but dang, I need to update that thing.
Yeah.
Because it's changed
I
a
gotta do
lot
that
in the
too.
last couple of weeks. But for the most part, you can find me on twitch.tv/game nights, game with 2 G's and nights with a K. This week, coming up tomorrow night, we're having another episode of Tabletop Tuesdays. We're playing Masks, in which I play the Beacon. It's very exciting.
The Beacon.
She's essentially a ripoff of Danny Phantom.
Oh, yes.
Is my character in that game. Her name is
love
Maya
it.
Morrison, and she rules. So we're playing Masks tomorrow. On Thursday night, we're having a new episode of Wild Space, which is one of our D&D 5e games. It's D&D, but it's in space. It's like a space opera type deal, and it rules. On Friday, we have a new episode of Neon Souls. We're in our second season. The first season we played the Sprawl. This season we're playing Cypher. But it is our sort of cyberpunk, fuck capitalism, tear down the corporations game. And in that one, I play a big, strong lady with a robot arm who kills people with a chain. It rules. On Saturday, we have Saturday night Star Power. Saturday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we're playing Overarms, which is a fun rules light tabletop game that's inspired by JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, in which I play a pop star who has a big anima or stand, if you're familiar with JoJo's, that looks like a big transformer, but he's made out of speakers. And
You
then
say these things so casually, and I love
yeah,
you for it.
this is just how I live. There's a lot. It's just a lot of weird stuff and wigs mostly, in my life. And then on Sunday, I have 2 shows. One on Game Nights, Slang 101, which I was talking about earlier, is the long-running Monster of the Week game that I run. That's on Sunday afternoons, and then on Sunday nights, starting this coming Sunday, we have our premiere of the new all-ladies D&D campaign that I'm going to be playing in on twitch.tv/lbhackemup. She's running it. I'm playing in it. We have a bunch of fun friends in it. Sarah at the Hype Goblin is going to be there, and a bunch of other fun people. It's called Playthings of the Gods. And I'm playing a centaur who's just really into the stars in that one. So we're having our premiere Sunday night. That'll be really fun. And then I'll be back here on Monday doing this. That's my schedule. I'll update my Twitter schedule and repin it so it's actually there. Or maybe I won't, and there will be a quiz later. A fun fact.
We have to do our
Yeah,
fun
I
fact,
gotta go back and
because
get
I
Anna's
forgot
too.
my supposed to do your fun fact.
Oh yeah. Weird Stuff in Wigs, the name of Savvy's chat show. Well,
I
it
love
is
that.
now. Thanks, Pope. Stealing it. I'll credit you, maybe. I'm joking. That's wonderful. My fun fact about Naomi is that she, I think for the most part, is like really into the like goth, and then like kind of dabbles in like the emo sort of scene as well. She doesn't really like emo music that much.
Oh man, dude, remember it's like 1999. Like,
I don't think she likes it that much.
yeah,
I don't think she's into it.
Emo music wasn't even that great in 1999.
it wasn't really
No.
much of a thing yet. It was
Yeah.
just
Oh,
Oh,
emerging.
I know. Yeah, I think that that's coming up,
Yeah.
and I think she's kind of like, mm,
No.
no, that's not for me.
Is she a grunge kid? Like, does she dig more on like some Alice in Chains or?
No, I think she likes pop music. Secretly,
Oh,
doesn't tell
that's even
anybody.
better. She's okay.
Oh,
She
yeah.
secretly loves bubblegum pop.
Yeah, I think she really likes pop.
Oh, that's good. That's
Oh, because oh my gosh, because 1999, Marcus really secretly loves Weird Al.
Yes.
Yeah.
Make Weird
yes.
Al an NPC. Got it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Anna, what is your fun fact?
My fun fact is that Louise's favorite food is moon pies.
Moon pies. They are delicious.
They are delicious.
Okay, cool.
What a time to be alive.
Dig on some Pearl Jam? No? Alright. Cool. So, that is all for tonight. The only thing I have to announce, by way of what's coming up, is a couple things. This Friday, please don't forget, back here at 7 o'clock this Friday, March 5th, for the GM Postmortem, our chat show. We are talking with Christopher Gray, the author of The Great American Witch and The Happiest Apocalypse on Earth. We're going to discuss those games with him. It's going to be awesome. Come check it out. And this coming up this Sunday, March 7th, the one-shot will be Blades in the Dark with guest GM Valdrianth. So do come check that out. Very much looking forward to that. And yeah, that's all for now. I think I've announced everything else earlier in the week. So, thank you, Anna, for pointing out. Yes, all past GM Postmortem episodes are now on YouTube, so go check them out. The full playlist is there, all 8 episodes. And of course, the one with Christopher will be up shortly after we're done. If you stick around, I'm gonna raid over to our friend Lindy. We're gonna go say hello because she's playing some D&D right now. So we're gonna hop over and say hi. Thank you all so much for stopping by this evening. Thank you for indulging our bullshit for the last several hours as we start making some thirsty ghosts and whatnot. Our monster hunting team is looking great. I'm really looking forward to this. Can't wait to see you all next week. So we'll see you back here next Monday at 7 p.m. for the first episode of Monster of the Week Act 3. And until then, do not forget that being a goddamn monster is a free action. We love you. See you all next week.